For the Dallas Cowboys, their loss 3 weeks ago to the defending world champions put only a small wrinkle in what has been a dominating season. America's team has fought back, dislodging two of the top AFC teams in recent weeks. Now, with 4 games remaining, the Cowboys are fighting to maintain home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Last week, Dallas overcame a big scare, a scare that proved to be only temporary. And today, with the triplets leading the way, they look for revenge from an early season loss to the Washington Redskins. 9 weeks ago, the Redskins stunned the football world, upsetting the Cowboys. But since that moment, the season has been one of disappointment, one of frustration. At 3-9, the Redskins are still in pursuit of answers to many questions as the season nears its close. Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas. The Redskins in town to face the Cowboys on an unusually warm day in Texas. Temperature nearing 70 degrees. Stadium sold out as usual. Pat Summerall here with John Madden. And John, although the Redskins beat the Cowboys the first time they played up in Washington, the Cowboys are a prohibitive favorite. What do they have to play for today?
Well, you know, if you're going to be a great team, a Super Bowl team, a championship team, I've always believed that you don't really need anything to play for. You just go out there and play your best. But in talking to the Cowboys, the coaches, and the players, they know that if they win today, that they clinch a playoff spot. With a second win, they clinch a division title. And with a third win, a 3 out of 4, they can clinch home field playoffs throughout. So that's what they want. I mean, they want to get in the playoffs, then they want to get home field throughout, and then they know that if they do all those things, they're probably going to play the 49ers here someday.
The Cowboys were very fearful that they might have lost their fine running back Emmitt Smith on Thanksgiving Day when they beat Kansas City. We talked to Emmitt yesterday. He's going to play, wants to play.
Yeah, and I think the fact that they played on Thanksgiving Day and then they've had 10 days has really helped Emmitt Smith, because he said he didn't do anything till Wednesday. It felt okay. Did a little more on Thursday, and by Friday he felt fine, and he doesn't think that anything should slow him up today.
Most people accept the fact that the Cowboys and the 49ers are the best teams in the NFC. When you look at ways to attack Dallas, there are all different schemes. Norv Turner, the coach of the Redskins, thinks you have to stop Michael Irvin.
Yeah, because if the Cowboys are going to get a big play on you, there's only one guy that can get it quickly, and that's Michael Irvin. And then if you can stop that and not let them have the big play, make them work for it, it will take them time. Then the other part of that is you have to control the ball. And that's the way the Redskins beat them last time, and that's what Norv Turner says we have to do again. We have to be able to run the ball. Terry Allen has to have a big day.
So stand by for the Redskins and the Cowboys, one of the oldest and one of the most heated rivalries in the NFL. The Redskins have won the toss. They'll receive the kickoff. Brian Mitchell and William Bell back deep. That's Norv Turner, the head coach of the Redskins. And sometimes you forget about the presence of number 30 for Washington. Barry Switzer on the opposite sideline, the head coach at Dallas in his second year. Chris Boniol to kick it off. There's Brian Mitchell, one of the most dangerous kick returners, one of the best on special teams in the entire league.
Well, and when the Redskins upset the Cowboys, Brian Mitchell and Terry Allen were the two biggest parts of that.
The kick is going to go to Mitchell deep in the end zone, 5 yards deep in the end zone, and that's the way to keep him back where you'd like to have him. Let's look at the Washington offense. Starting at quarterback, Heath Shuler in his second year. 1 touchdown, 6 interceptions, but he has talent. Patton, Brown, Giesick at center, the former Cowboy, Trey Johnson, and Ed Simmons up front. Terry Allen, Mark Logan, the 2 running backs, Orlando Truitt, Henry Ellard, and Scott Galbraith, but they use 2 tight ends frequently. And that's the way they'll start. Side stopped by Tolbert. The Dallas defense. Haley, Lett, Maryland, and Tolbert. 3 of the 4 were criticized by Coach Barry Switzer after Washington beat them at RFK. Darren Smith, Robert Jones, Dixon Edwards, the linebackers. Deion Sanders and Larry Brown, the corners. Brock Marion and Darren Woodson. 2nd and 10. Two tight ends set up again. Terry Allen deep. Schuler to throw it. Incomplete. Terry Allen hit by Dixon Edwards.
Well, when you play this Cowboy defense, one of the first things you want to find out is where is Deion Sanders lining up. That time he lined it up in Orlando Truitt. You know, you would think, okay, he'll line up on their best receiver. He'll line up in Henry Ellard. I think what the Cowboys are going to start with is Deion Sanders lining up on the strong side.
3 wide receivers set up for Heath Schuler and the Redskin offense. Haley gets loose, but they had a screen pass call to Brian Mitchell. Leon Lett, just coming back after a 4-game suspension, makes the stop.
And that was one of the things that Norv Turner says that we can't do today. We can't have a lot of those 3 and outs because he knows, having been the offensive coordinator of this Cowboy team and a good friend and coach of Troy Aikman and all those players, he knows if you give them too many shots at you, what they can do.
Single safety is
Matt Turk back to punt to Kevin Williams. Off the side of his foot. Williams waves, stay away from it. And the Cowboys will take over at about their own 36-yard line. We'll look at the Dallas offensive setup. They not only control the ball very effectively, they also, as Norv Turner pointed out to us, they beat you up doing it. Matt Turk, the punter. Troy Aikman joins the offensive huddle. There are his numbers, and in front of him, a big offensive line. The new member is Derek Kennard at center. He goes 333, replacing Ray Donaldson. Aikman has Emmitt Smith deep and Novacek in motion. Aikman, Smith, nothing doing. Ken Harvey made the stop on Emmitt Smith. Palmer, Gaines, Boutte, and Woods start as the front 4. Norv Turner said he was happy with his back 7, including these 3 linebackers, and his secondary. Green and Carter, the cornerbacks, Richard and Washington, the safeties.
Well, if he's going to be happy with them today, Pat, they're going to have to do a lot better job against the run than they have been doing.
Emmitt Smith is deep. 4 wide out. Aikman fell on it. New center, remember, Derek Kennard.
You know, that's an interesting thing. Ray Donaldson was injured last week. Derek Kennard came in, and they had no problems with the exchange. Here, Derek Kennard works with Troy Aikman all week. Now, that looked like Derek Kennard got that ball up there. Again, you know, Troy Aikman, the quarterback, has his right hand up underneath, and you try and slap the ball in his right hand.
3rd and 15. 3 wide receivers. Here's Aikman. Just throws it away. And the Cowboys will have to punt it.
And that frustrated Troy Aikman, Pat, as you see him walk up the field, because when he was ready to throw, there was no one open, and he had to bring that ball back again, and he was upset with one of his receivers in the middle there.
Brian Mitchell deep for Washington. John Jett set to punt it for Dallas. He's had back spasms. There was some doubt about whether he'd be able to punt or not today.
Well, they said he'd been sleeping on a waterbed. The trainer said, well, get off that waterbed, get on a floor or something.
And he got better. David Lang down to make the stop. We'd like to welcome those of you who watched Tampa Bay, Minnesota to Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas. No score. Each team has had the ball once. Unable to move. 3 and out for both.
Yeah, that was an impressive start for the Redskins, though, because defensively they had to come in there and they showed a little pass rush. They showed good coverage. And again, the Cowboys, they like to get off to that good fluid start, get in a rhythm, and get all those things. The Redskins didn't let them do that on their first possession.
Heath Schuler at quarterback sends Mark Logan in motion and fires to his right. Pass is caught by Ellard. He's cut down immediately. And right now for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
Hey, Pat, Brett Favre stayed hot today. He threw 3 touchdown passes, one here to Edgar Bennett as the Packers win at 24-10 over Cincinnati, staying on top of the NFC Central at 9-4. Back to Pat and John.
That Packer team seems to get better every week.
Until they play someone like the Cowboys.
Yeah.
That's going to be their ultimate test.
Terry Allen. Good yardage and a Redskin first down, tripped up by Haley.
Remember after the last game when the Redskins did upset the Cowboys, remember Barry Switzer after that game was all upset because Terry Allen had such a big day there? And he said that his front line, he named them. He named Tolbert, and he named Haley, and he named Leon Lett. He said they didn't play well. They didn't get in their gaps. They didn't control their gaps. They didn't play gap control. They were running all over the place and making big lanes for Terry Allen.
1st and 10 Washington. Schuler comes out of there, and he's a good athlete. Heath Schuler lowered the shoulder. Missed the first down, I think, by about a yard, but he didn't dodge the contact, did he?
He's going to learn that. Now, he's going to run right inside of Charles Haley. You know, Charles Haley he's working up the field, and that's the lane right there. They kick him out, and Schuler finds that lane right there. Watch how he finishes it off. Usually, a quarterback won't finish off a run, and if he does finish it off, he doesn't finish it off with his right arm if he's a right-handed quarterback.
2nd and short. Less than a yard, really. Schuler gets it. First down, Washington. Over the years, there have been some thrilling games between these two.
I remember when the Redskins and the Hogs and Joe Gibbs was coaching, and they brought John Riggins and that group in here.
Boy.
Oh, that was like a real war.
Both here and in Washington.
You know, but even this Redskin team, I mean, they're disappointed in being 3-9, but they do match up well against this Cowboy team.
Allen thrown backwards.
And one of the reasons they match up well is they have a big offensive line. You know, they have John Giesick now playing center. And then they have, you know, Ray Brown at left guard, Trey Johnson weighs about 350 pounds at right guard, and they can control. They can get guys going back. They can keep those linemen out of those gaps.
That's stopped by the middle linebacker Robert Jones, who's been bothered by vertigo. He had a full groin. He suffered that against the Raiders, but since then, other pass from Schuler to Logan. He was too close to throw it that hard. Look at the weight of these offensive lines.
Yeah, and, you know, I remember one time where, you know, if a guy weighed over 300 pounds, and I had one in Art Shell, you would never put it down. You'd always say they weighed 290, 295. Now, if you look at the heaviest in the NFL as the Cowboys, they averaged 323. The Redskins averaged 307.
Well, if you got over 300, you never knew exactly how much you weighed. It was always about something. Schuler behind Truitt, incomplete. Larry Brown, the coverage. As much as anything, the presence of Deion Sanders has made Larry Brown play much better.
Yeah, and I think so. And the other thing, the presence of Deion Sanders has really made the other team always be conscious of where he is, even like now on this punt return.
High kick from Matt Turk, and Deion says get away from him. They going to down it inside the 5. The Redskins down in a hurry. Darrell Pounds caught it at the 4. That's where the Cowboys will start from.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by AT&T, your true choice. By American Express. By Black & Decker, it's how things get done. And by Pizza Hut, home of stuffed crust pizza.
Nothing. First quarter at Texas Stadium. Pat Summerall with John Madden. Cowboys ball at their own 4. To the 8. Stanley Richard.
Yeah, as you look at number 73 there, Pat, Larry Allen, I got to think that he's gotten to be one of the best guards in football, and just watching the Cowboys play and watching them on tape, I think he's their best offensive lineman right now. In fact, I would think that he may be the best offensive lineman at all of pro football. I mean, he can pass block and run block, and he can dominate from a guard position.
He can make your head snap when he hits you.
Look at that jersey. It looked like it's been sewed 300 times.
Aikman. Incomplete to Irvin. Tom Carter on the coverage.
Yeah, and that's one thing that middle of that line can do is pass protect. Just watch right here. You know, Larry Allen plays guard like a defensive lineman. I mean, he gets that left hand up in there underneath the chin. I mean, he doesn't take anything at all. I mean, you don't have to be passive to play offensive line. And it's guys like Eric Williams and Larry Allen on that right side that prove it week after week after week.
2 tight ends, Bjornsson and Novacek side by side. Aikman to Irvin. Out of bounds at about the 14. Enough to move the sticks. Michael Irvin hasn't talked to the local media since the Cowboys lost to San Francisco.
Yeah, I think that loss took a lot out of this Cowboy team. Even just being around this weekend, they aren't the same. I mean, we were here, the last time we were here was when they played the 49ers, and they were a different team then. I mean, they were cocky and they were brash and they were all those things. And that loss, and being the 3rd time in a row that they lost to the 49ers, really took a lot out of this team.
They haven't had much fun since then. Kevin Williams makes the reception from Aikman. Carter on the stop.
Yeah, this is one thing I think that they're going to have to do is they just can't rely on any time they want to throw to a wide receiver, it's Michael Irvin. I think sometimes it has to be Kevin Williams, and we know that they miss Alvin Harper, but they do have to get the ball out here to Kevin Williams.
First and 10 Cowboys at their own 29. Emmett Smith deep behind Aikman. And Emmett gets the carry. And he is headed in the opposite direction by Rich Owens.
You know, we were talking to Norv Turner last night. This is a guy that he likes, this Rich Owens. I mean, he thinks that he's really going to be one. And again, Norv has a lot of players like this on this Redskin team. I mean, they're a very young team and a lot of players that are going to be good. A lot of players that are probably playing and starting before they should be because that's all they have. But they are on their road back to being a good team.
And Rich Owens, according to Norv, is going to be one of the cornerstones. Here's Aikman. That's Kevin Williams. At the 47, stopped by Stanley Richard. 16-yard pickup, excuse me.
Talking to Troy Aikman a couple weeks ago, that's one of the things that he said that he wanted to do. He said it's not all Williams' fault that he doesn't get the ball. He said sometimes he's just going to have to make more of an effort to look for him, find him, and throw the ball to him. He said because when he watches tapes, he said he is open.
Especially when he comes out of the slot like he did then. He's a good slot receiver. Better there, where he is now, than he is when he's wide. Emmett Smith. Emmett taken down in Redskin territory at about their 48 by Darrell Green.
We were talking earlier how on the first possession that the Cowboys didn't get in their rhythm, but they're getting in their rhythm on this drive. I mean, you know, here you got that lead draw. There's no hole in there, so Emmitt Smith just bounces it out. You see good pass protection for Troy Aikman. He's throwing it to Michael Irvin, then he throws it to Kevin Williams. He hasn't gotten to Novacek or Johnston yet, but he will.
Kendall Watkins, the Cowboys operate with 2 tight ends, and Emmitt Smith gets the carry to the Redskin 45. They're still short of the first down by a couple.
You know, we were talking to Terry Allen last night about Emmitt Smith. He said, you know, everyone says that he's a workhorse and they run him too much and, you know, they're going to burn him out and all that stuff. He said, you know, it's not going to happen because the big guys usually don't tackle him. I mean, this line is so good that this line gets him past the defensive line and linebackers. And he said if you watch Emmitt Smith, he is usually being tackled by defensive backs.
And in most cases, he is stronger than they are.
Yeah, and he said that doesn't hurt like those big linemen.
Aikman. Irvin had it. Bounced out. Darrell Green was the closest Redskin.
That's been a great matchup over the years. He's going to look at that on the screen to see how he dropped it. Again, it looked like he was just trying to run before he caught the ball.
Yep.
He was going to spin and try and get that sideline on Darrell Green.
Trying to turn to the outside before the ball got there.
He probably wouldn't have gotten it anyway because Darrell Green is a savvy old corner. I never thought I'd ever call Darrell Green old. I knew I'd call him savvy, but I guess when you're a 13-year veteran, you got to be old too.
It's amazing. He's still full of life, still got a great smile. Not a good kick by Jet, but it takes a pretty good bounce and goes out of bounds at the Redskins 17. That's where Washington will take over. No score as yet. We're in the first quarter. 4:09 remain. Redskins nothing. The Cowboys nothing.
Watch Michael Irvin, Pat, here on the sideline. He's showing exactly what happened, that he started to turn and run before he caught the ball.
Which is exactly what you said.
Yeah, and it's a fine line. You know, I mean, that's what Michael Irvin does so well. That's what Jerry Rice does so well, is catch and run. But you got to do them in that order.
Here's Heath Schuler. Pass is caught. He was pushed out of bounds. Henry Ellard made the catch. It's a 17-yard pickup and a first down for the Redskins.
Yeah, you talk about savvy old receivers. Henry Ellard is one who's been catching passes for a long time, hasn't he? And what they say on this pass is that maybe he was out of bounds, but if he's out of bounds and he's pushed out of bounds while he's in the air, then that's like being inbound. You see, he caught the ball inbounds, and what they're ruling is that Brock Marion hit him, and if Brock Marion didn't hit him, his feet would have come down inside.
I think it was a good call. Schuler gets to Terry Allen. Might have squirmed for a yard, no more.
Now this is Heath Schuler's third start of the season. Remember, he got hurt early in the season, and then Gus Frerotte started and did so well, and they brought Schuler back, and so it's only his 11th career start. So here's a guy that was a #1 draft choice, playing 2 years, but only starting his 11th year.
Didn't play his senior year in college. Came out early.
And I think that has to be taken into account too. These guys that come out early, that their first 2 years, sometimes it's just their spring training and senior year of college.
Pass intended for Jamie Asher. Incomplete. Heath Schuler's first 321 career attempts on top. Troy Aikman on the bottom.
Yeah, you know, you always think of what a quarterback is today. You think of what a Troy Aikman is. You think, you know, where Steve Young is, and you kind of forget where they were when they were starting out, like Heath Schuler starting out. And I think you find out that most of them are about the same place.
There are very few exceptions to that.
Well, Dan Marino in his first year went to a Super Bowl.
And that's about the only one. Here's Schuler. Gets it up the middle to Leslie Shepard, who's still dancing but doesn't get a first down. Robert Bailey finally made the stop.
I tell you, Charles Haley is not healthy. And,
No.
in fact, both of these defensive ends for the Cowboys are really beaten up. Watch Charles Haley here, and you just see he's so reckless that, you know, there's a lot of defensive guys, outside pass rushers, that don't like to go inside, because when you go inside, you're going to be picked up by another guy. Haley will go inside at will.
Turk gets off a good punt this time. Chasing Kevin Williams back. And the ball took a weird bounce. Looked like it was going to go into the end zone and came straight sideways and out of bounds inside the 10, inside the 10, at about the 8. Nothing still. Back at Texas Stadium, nothing score, first quarter. 2 minutes, 15 seconds remain. Charles Haley, in addition to being beat up physically, has a touch of the flu.
Yeah, he didn't practice on Friday with the flu, and yesterday the Cowboys didn't practice anyway.
He just had a walkthrough. He was there, but pass thrown to Michael Irvin, complete. The Redskin defenders there in a hurry.
You know, sometimes with this, with Michael Irvin out there and the way he can work with Troy Aikman, you think that you could probably do this, just run up the field and then turn out, and as he turns, the ball is right there. It looks like they could just do that every play.
Yep. They're so much in sync.
Yeah, and they work at being in sync, though. I mean, that in sync just doesn't happen. I mean, these two guys are very hard workers.
They need 3 for a first down. Emmett Smith doesn't get it.
He's tackled by defensive linemen on that one. Usually that offensive line will get Emmett Smith, you know, through the defensive line and into the linebackers. That one there, they didn't get him through the defensive line. And I think when Emmett Smith got hurt on Thanksgiving, I think every Cowboys collective heart went down to their toes.
I think you're right. 2 tight ends set up. Emmett still a little tentative. Cut down by Tony Woods, and he may or may not have enough for the first.
And one thing that they're not going to do is they're not going to let Emmett Smith have that cutback. And you see when he started to the left that Tony Woods, instead of chasing behind, he just came right back and he just kept taking a backside cutoff lane away from him.
They'll measure. Nothing. Redskins, Cowboys.
Because that's what you have to do when you play against Emmett Smith. And when you play against Terry Allen, too, you have to take those gaps away, those lanes onside and backside.
A foot short of a first down.
He's firing off. Don't even hit it. Just come on around. He's firing off. Don't even. Hey, you got to say something. I'm coming to him.
The thing about Charles Haley, he not only plays, but in between he coaches. And, of course, Leon Lett has missed the last 4 games, so he's just coming back. So he's saying if the guy's firing out on you, just go right around him.
Brian Mitchell on a kick return. It was a good kick by Jet. Flags flying all over the place. Penalty markers down. David Lang down to make the stop on Mitchell. Larry Nimmers is the referee.
Usually when an official has his hat off, that means that someone went out of bounds. There's a penalty also. The flag is the penalty. The hat means that someone went out of bounds. Now, if you go out of bounds in coverage, you can't come in and make the tackle, be the first one to make the tackle. Now, there's 2 officials with their hats off. So what they're talking about is those 2 officials with their hats off saw someone go out of bounds and marked it with their hat.
Darrell Green was out checking on the situation.
Now, he's saying it's against the Cowboys.
Yeah. He's not wearing a striped shirt, though.
No, but he knows. He's a savvy old veteran.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
on the kicking team for running out of bounds and refusing to come in. That penalty by rule is refused. We have an illegal block in the back. During the return, number 29, that penalty by rule is accepted. It's the receiving team's ball, 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
Here's where you're going to see where the guy was out of bounds. You see now, he can run up out of bounds, but he has to try to get back in.
Said he refused to come back in.
Well, I don't know if he refused. I mean, he
did come back in.
Eventually, he did come back in. So that's one penalty, and here we're going to see the other one, pushing from behind. It has to come up right there.
That's Scott Turner. So in any case, it's the Redskins' ball. Back at their own 23-yard line. No score yet. Back at Texas Stadium, 0-0. Those of you who watch the Jets and the Rams, welcome to Texas Stadium. No score with 22 seconds left to play in the first quarter. That comes as a surprise to a lot of people, I'm sure. Heath Schuler gives to Terry Allen. Allen gets out across the 25 to about the 26.5-yard line. Russell Maryland tripped him up.
Oh, Russell Maryland played that backside gap control, didn't he?
Yeah.
But Barry Switzer.
Well, he's the only guy that wasn't criticized for his play in Washington.
Well, probably the first time he played backside gap control.
So that's the end of the first quarter at Texas Stadium. And the score is 0-0, Dallas and Washington.
Yeah, we're talking about gap control. Now, here the ball is going to start this way, but you have to maintain this backside gap control. Now, watch how they do it. We see here the ball starts here, but Chad Hennings keeps this gap here. Russell Maryland has this gap, and he's going to collapse into this gap. So even though the ball is going to this side, they still have to control that backside gap. And you see Hennings comes into it there, and Maryland comes into it. That's what they didn't do in the first game. As the ball went away, they all ran over there, and no one controlled that backside gap.
2nd and 7, Schuler. I think that was going to be a quarterback draw. Robert Jones read it, along with Russell Maryland.
I think Dixon Edwards was in there, too. You're going to see Jones is right here. Dixon Edwards comes in right there. See 58? He comes on a blitz, and that's what stopped it right there.
Right.
Dixon Edwards was playing the outside linebacker. He came in, and he just hit that gap as the ball was snapped. Schuler looked to run on that draw, and there was Dixon Edwards right in front of him.
3rd down. They need 9. They're 0 for 3 on first down so far. Heath Schuler, the quarterback, drops the throw. Incomplete. Brian Mitchell, the intended receiver, hit by Scott Case just as the ball arrived.
And I think that's what Schuler's going to look for. One, he's going to look for Brian Mitchell. And two, anytime the Cowboys go into a nickel defense, you look to see who Scott Case is guarding, and you try and throw to that guy. Because if there's anyone that's susceptible, it's usually Scott Case. See, Mitchell starts out there. He just goes in the flat, but Case was right there with him.
Had him man-to-man. Matt Turk back deep. Got off an excellent kick last time. And again this time. Kevin Williams signaled fair catch and made it at the 32. Deion Sanders was back deep the first time the Redskins punted. Since then it's been Kevin Williams, which it normally is. 0-0.
Day is brought to you by Cadillac and your Cadillac dealer, creating a higher standard. By Smooth Busch Beer and easy drinking Busch Light. And by Aflac, insuring over 38 million people worldwide.
Pat Summerall, John Madden at Texas Stadium. Washington 0, Dallas 0. We're in the second quarter. 14-19 left to play in the first half. Dallas ball at their own 28-yard line. Aikman gives to Emmett Smith. Nothing doing.
Yeah, Emmitt Smith doesn't look like Emmitt Smith yet. I mean, he's not really just, darting into those holes. He's not flashing. He's taking a little time to get there. He's dancing around a little, and Emmitt Smith has starts like this. So I mean, I don't think that you say, well, Emmitt Smith isn't going to have a good day. I mean, I've seen Emmitt Smith start off like this, and then after a while you say, holy moly, these guys can't stop him. That doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot, except that he did injure his knee, and he looks a little tentative.
He is protecting a little bit. Maybe more than a little bit. Aikman back to throw. Hits Darryl Johnston. And again for McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
Seahawks giving the Eagles fits right now, Pat. Take a look at Rick Meyer, the quarterback keeper. Poor tackling by Greg Jackson here as Meyer takes it across into the end zone. Seahawks lead it 14-0, under 13 in the second. Back to Pat and John.
That's a surprising score. 0-0 here. I'm sure that's a surprising score, too. 3rd and 2, second quarter.
The Cowboys look a little lethargic today. That 10-day rest kind of slowed them up a little.
What were you saying? Flag on the play. All of a sudden, Emmitt Smith pops into the secondary, but there's a flag on the play. It's going to be holding against Dallas.
Yeah, I was saying that, you never count Emmitt Smith out. I mean, he does have a lot of slow starts, but he never has slow days.
Holding. 84 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 3rd down.
You ever have days like that?
Well, slow.
Yeah.
I had slow parts and slow all days and slow weeks and slow everything. Here's Jay Novacek here, number 84. He comes in motion. Emmitt Smith is going to eventually break out to that side. Now, from what I see there, that's a pretty good block. I mean,
yeah.
he got outside, came back in. That's not bad. Stanley Richard came up and, maybe he did something down below or something like that after where you couldn't see it.
There are those who say Novacek is not a good blocker, but that was certainly an excellent block.
If he gets angles like that, he's a good blocker.
Yep. Aikman. Incomplete. Irvin, the intended receiver. Tom Carter was close, and the Cowboys will have to punt again.
I think the word for it is out of sync. I think part of it is the Cowboy offense is a little out of sync. I think maybe this 10-day, they look a little stale. And the other thing is, I think the Redskins are playing pretty good defense, too.
Well, North Turner was saying their defensive unit was getting better week by week.
He liked his back seven, he called. His back seven, of course, would be his 3 linebackers and his 4 defensive backs.
Brian Mitchell back deep. John Jett to punt it. Charlie Williams down in a hurry.
That was a big play by Charlie Williams because he was the only guy there.
Yep. 12:33 left to play. First half, 0-0 score. Back at Texas Stadium, Pat Summerall, John Madden, 0-0 score.
The odd things you see during a commercial. There's a kid on the sideline selling an autographed football to a guy in the stand.
Guess who autographed it?
Lo and behold,
Jerry Jones. He does own everything.
Now, how does that happen? A kid on the sideline selling an autographed football to Jerry Jones right during the game.
Jerry found somebody he wanted to sign.
Well, where'd that kid come from?
I don't know.
I mean, how did that kid get the ball?
I don't know.
I mean, there's Jerry Jones. I'm sure he doesn't even know what happened. I mean, he's saying, where the heck did I didn't do that. What probably happened is...
Maybe he's going to pay for the roof of the stadium with that.
Yeah. And put grass instead of artificial turf on this field. Lo and behold, I've seen a lot of things in stadiums during commercials, but never a kid selling autographed footballs to the owner.
That's got to go down. That'll be in the record book. Asher,
I think he only got $30, so I mean, I saw a 20 and a 10.
Well, there were more. There was more than that. It had to be more than that.
Oh, there was more than 20 and a 10?
I think there was a 1 or 2 in there somewhere. It had to be.
Whew, holy moly. Ernie Zampese, the offensive coordinator of the Cowboys, has the gout.
Did you ever think you'd see that? Schuler. Brown, good coverage. Leslie Shepard, the intended receiver. I think it's more than 20 bucks.
Well, let's check it out again. I thought it was 30. I saw a 20 and a 10. Oh, there's
220.
There's 220.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you saw 10?
Yeah, 10.
Yeah, there's 50 at least.
Yes, that's half a C, half a Hunsky gives. But the balls cost more than that, I think, if it's a regulation NFL ball that has Paul Tagliabue's name on it.
That's what I got for my signing bonus. Turk's kick is handled by Kevin Williams. Your Aflac, it's not really a trivia question. That's the cover of the Redskins press guide. Ken Harvey, of course, is number 57 in the middle. Can you identify the rest of those people? All of them Redskin stars and still Redskin heroes. 6 more names. First down, Cowboys, their own 31. No score. Novacek on the move. And Aikman back to throw it. To Irvin. About a 3-yard gain. Marcus Patton made the stop. Again, the Aflac trivia question. Identify the rest of the people on the Redskin press media guide for this year. And here they are. A is Lenny Hawes, the great center. Chris Hamburger, the outstanding linebacker. Sonny Jurgensen, nobody threw it better. Joe Jacoby, one of the Hogs. Ken Houston and Charlie Taylor. And
there's Sonny right there.
Christian Adolph.
The guy's pointing to him. There's Sonny Jurgensen.
Yep. Incomplete. Nobody near. Kevin Williams, perhaps. But there was a mix-up.
And Troy Aikman's upset, I think, with Williams because he expected an out and he got an up. But
that's not good.
No, well, the whole offense, the Cowboy offense isn't in sync here. They haven't gotten anything started yet. I mean, you can see Dallas with 3 3-and-outs. They don't do that a lot. I mean, you know, this Dallas offense is usually a highly efficient team. There's Ernie Zampese there, the offensive coordinator, trying to get something going.
Can't tell he's got the gout.
No, because he's sitting down. When you see him walking, until he got the gout.
Aikman to Irvin, first down. Carter made the stop.
See, and I don't think that they really feel that they can give a heavy dose of Emmitt Smith now, so they have to go the other way, and they're going to try and open things up by getting the ball to Michael Irvin. Because usually when they get in this position, then they just start feeding the ball to Emmitt Smith, and then that tightens up the defense, and then they can go any way they want to. But I don't think that Emmitt Smith today is going to be able to do that for him, at least right now.
He is deep. Darrell Johnston in front of him. The Moose. Aikman back to throw. To Irvin again. And as you said, it looks like they can do that all the way down the field. They're in such good rhythm.
And this time here, you're going to see Darrell Green against him. Darrell Green, for years, one of the fastest guys in the National Football League. Also one of the best cover guys. And maybe that step that he lost was the step that he needed to knock that one down. But even Darrell Green losing a step, he's still pretty quick.
Oh, remember, he was one of the best punt returners I've ever seen.
And he was always a joy. He's one of those guys that always had a bounce in his walk and a glimmer in his eye and, a smile on his face.
Aikman to throw. Outside of Smith.
Emmitt tried to give a little spinner there. There goes that kid that sold that football.
He still got another ball.
Well, supposedly, I guess Jerry Jones gave him 2 footballs, and he sold one. And then he was walking around the stadium. I don't know if he was trying to sell the other one or what, or they're just walking him out of the place.
As far as we could tell, he got $50 for the other one. That's pretty good.
Well, yeah, but you know, when you get on television, though, security's not going to let him stay down there and sell that other one. Jerry Jones, he's such a nice kid.
Emmitt Smith. That's another Cowboy first down tripped up by James Washington.
Yeah, and I think that's James Washington's first tackle. You know, James Washington, of course, played for the Dallas Cowboys and said that he was going to get Emmitt. He was going to do all this stuff, and I think right there's James Washington, number 37. I think that's the first time that he got to hit Emmitt. There was a little skirmish at the end of the play, too. In fact, it's all broken up now. The poor old official, he got kicked on that deal.
Key block and a good block by Larry Allen. You see a lot of that.
Larry Allen will make a lot of key blocks. Pass and run, on the line of scrimmage and downfield.
Aikman back to throw again. Irvin, the intended receiver, incomplete. A flag on the play. Thrown by the official in the end zone. Darrell Green's upset.
And there's one thrown back there about the 8-yard line, too. But Darrell Green looked like he had pretty good position on that. You know, they have to start watching this because I think that they got to let the guys play a little more.
Michael Irvin is now he's upset. Darrell Green seemed happy. I think it's got to be offensive pass interference.
Well, it's a very inconsistent thing. If you got to say what rule in the National Football League is the most inconsistent, it's pass interference. Even Troy Aikman's down there to get in that argument. You don't see that often.
Defensive pass interference, number 28. He cut his path off to the ball. Spot foul, automatic first down.
Darrell Green is saying that he's done this all the time. Here they are at the bottom of the screen. Now again, after 5 yards, you can't bump him. See, he starts to move out. Now, right there, Darrell Green has position on him. I don't think that is pass defense. I don't think that's pass interference on the defense. This guy here calls it.
Did you hear what Larry Nimmer said? He cut his path off to the ball.
But that's okay. That's what they're supposed to do. We've been teaching that for 30 years. Cut their path off to the ball.
Longer than 30 years.
50 years.
Right.
100 years.
Aikman just finally had to throw it away.
No, I don't think there's a rule against cutting the path off to the ball. I mean, that's the only, who has that territory. If you get there first, that's your territory. I think Darrell Green is saying that. He's right.
I think he is too.
How can you not? What are you supposed to do?
Get out of his way?
Yeah, get out of his way and say, oh, I'm sorry, you want this, you take it, I'll stand by and watch it.
And give you a touchdown?
I don't think Larry Nemmer's meant to say that what he said.
Aikman to Emmitt Smith. And Emmitt, touchdown. He wanted that.
And so did big Derek Kennard. He was in there pushing at the end. I think he pushed the defense, Emmitt, and the whole group into that end zone.
22 rushing touchdowns.
Yep, and the record is 24. John Riggins. But watch Derek Kennard, the center here. They're going to get a big push in the middle anyway. When you get Larry Allen, watch how he just knocks his guy off there, the big hole, and then Kennard's going to come right here. You see him push? He just pushes the whole thing right into the end zone.
And then Nate Newton pushed him.
But it was still Larry Allen's block that made that a touchdown.
Bonio's kick is good, and it's 7-0. That ties Emmitt Smith's club record for a season of touchdowns, 22.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Aptiva, the home computer from IBM. Welcome to the future.
Back at Texas Stadium, Chris Bonio set to kick off for Dallas. They lead Washington 7-0. Brian Mitchell is deep. He'll get a chance to return this one from the 5. Slipped away from one man. That is one phase of this Cowboy team that's improved as the years pass by. The special teams coverage.
Well, and they lost. They got a lot of guys in the offseason, too, that were special teams players that they couldn't give any money to. So one of the things they wanted to do in the draft is to get special teams players that they could pay the lowest salary. I think Darrell Green is still upset about this play. Just watch it. Here's Michael Irvin. Here's Darrell Green there. I don't think this should have been a penalty against Michael Irvin or Darrell Green, because see Darrell Green right there. He takes away the path right there. He should do that. Now, he doesn't have to get out of the way. There's a little push there by Michael Irvin, but I don't think that should be a penalty either. That's where Norv Turner is telling the referee that he saw it on the big board up there, that there was nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's too late now. I mean, the Cowboys got that, and they got the touchdown, but that can't be a rule, what they said. And if they can't do that on defense, then you can't play defense. And I know you want to help the offense in this league, but you also have to let the defense, give them a break once in a while, or let them play.
Well, the Cowboys were offsides on that kickoff by Bonio just a minute ago, so they'll have to kick off now from their own 25.
Cowboys still got old Bill Bates still down there, running down there all these years. And
right in the middle. At the 10, it's Mitchell. They go left this time. And again, the coverage is good. They get out to about the 26. Terry Bradshaw hosts a 1-hour special on Fox 1 week from tonight. Find out which one of your favorite athletes will become part of sports history. Watch the Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Year Award next Sunday at 7, 6 Central here on Fox. Redskins at the 27, 1st and 10.
After that pass interference, then it's just a matter of time. Whether Emmitt Smith is healthy or all the way back or not, when he gets close to or smells that goal line, he gets awfully healthy. That's like a liniment.
Terry Allen hit by Darren Woodson right at the line of scrimmage. An assist from Dixon Edwards.
Michael Irvin's talking to Kevin Williams, and that's probably about that pass pattern. Remember the one that Aikman threw and out, and Williams ran up?
And the ball, Aikman just had to throw it away, really.
Right. And one thing about Michael Irvin, he plays and practices and does everything at a very high intensity level.
And not just during the season. In the off season, he works every day.
He lets them all have it. I mean, he's letting Kevin Williams have it there.
Play clock down to 1 second, and Schuler calls the timeout. Gus Frerotte started off the season after Schuler got hurt, and he was hot. Now they're trying Schuler.
Greatest names in the game.
It's the tackle. Waters with the high step.
And off to the races is Jerry Rice.
Battle it out.
Mitchell going for more. He's got it. Touchdown.
In the run for the playoffs. Next Sunday, coverage begins 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific.
Second quarter, 7-0 Dallas with 7:15 left to play. Darrell Green was called for pass interference on a key call that set up the Dallas touchdown by Emmitt Smith, his 22nd of the year. Now Aikman is talking to Kevin Williams.
Well, I think that Michael Irvin probably got Kevin Williams excited, and now Troy Aikman's over there to calm him down. So we have a whole nother half a game here to go.
Michael Irvin plays excited. Schuler back to throw. Up into the pocket, out of the pocket, and taken down by Robert Jones. Godfrey Miles also involved.
Schuler's a strong guy. I mean, he weighs 225 pounds, and again on this play, he doesn't see anyone open. He's getting a blitz, and he sees right there, he just sees that little lane there, and that lane says, well, I better get it there, because here's what they try and do in Dion. They just take through. They're just going to run him down the field, just run him off, and then this is the area that they want to work on the other side to Henry Allard. Henry Allard just didn't get open when Heath Schuler was ready to throw it.
3rd and 10. Brian Mitchell. Stopped finally by Scott Case, but a good call on a Redskin first down.
Oh, and then he said something to Scott Case, and then Scott Case kind of punched him a little.
20-yard gain.
This is kind of one of those shovel passes. You're going to see, here's Mitchell right here. You see, he's going to come like he's blocking, and then Heath Schuler just shoveled it with his left hand, as a matter of fact. He took the ball out of his right, put it in his left hand, and just gave him one of those underhand option-like things. You know how you pitch that option end over end?
Yep.
That was a good-looking little pitch shovel.
Well, they did that in college. Now he's back to throw it. Schuler's short. Intended for Henry Allard. Didn't get there. Again, the Cowboys had a good rush going.
I think he was short because Charles Haley was there. Charles Haley will put pressure on you and make you throw it or not let you step the way you want to. You know, that's a big thing. If you can get in front of a quarterback or get to his feet where he can't step, then he can never get everything on the ball. That's what happened to Schuler on that one. That's why it just went boom right into the turf.
2nd down and 10. Schuler gives to Terry Allen. He's going to have a 1st and more inside the Cowboy 40.
Boy, now that is a slash. Did you see Terry Allen on that one?
Boy, he's a tough guy.
I mean, he took off. I mean, here's Terry Allen here. I mean, he's going to slash, boom, just right into that hole right now. I mean, he took off and he hit that thing, and those big blockers. You see that big Trey Johnson, 340 pounds. Look at that. There's the slash coming right at you.
A good block by Mark Logan to lead him through the hole, too.
Yeah, and Trey Johnson was on Russell Maryland there, made a good block.
Allen again. Inside the Cowboy 35, about the 34. Robert Jones made the stop.
They didn't let him get started on that slash that time. Heath Schuler got this drive started with that left-handed pass. Now, there's Norv Turner. When he calls these plays, he puts that thing in front because he doesn't want anyone to read his lips. I said, what's that all about, Norv? And he said, well, maybe I'm paranoid.
Maybe.
Then I said, what do you mean you're paranoid? He goes, no. He said, they can read your lips from across the field, so he puts that thing up there when he calls the play.
3 wide receivers. But they give to Allen, and there's a big hole in the middle. Allen down to about the Cowboy 21-yard line.
You know, the worst position if you had to be a guy is that umpire, the guy that stands behind the defense there.
Just can't get out of the way no matter where he goes.
And he didn't get out of the way on that one. I mean, they came flying, and he was going backwards and trying to get out of the way. Here's the umpire right here. Now watch what happens when they run at him. He's trying to run out of the way, back turn, and he gets whacked.
That's Al Conway.
Al Conway got whipsawed on that one.
Schuler rolls right. And rolls out of bounds at the 20. Dixon Edwards chased him.
Norv Turner has to calm down to call the play, you see, but he's not going to let anyone read his lips. I mean, he got those good plays, and they're not going to get him from the other side because he said you can get him from the other side and you can get him from the press box.
He's thinking of having James Bond call the plays for him.
But he's not paranoid. I'll say that about all coaches.
Yeah. Schuler to about the 13.
Larry Brown played that one well. I mean, you know, in any corner has to be a good open field tackler because you're the last line of defense. And you watch, here's Larry Brown here. They get to a point where Heath Schuler's going to be one-on-one. He gets out there, and there's no one between the goal line and Heath Schuler except Larry Brown. And he makes a perfect tackle.
3rd and 2. Schuler sneaks it straight ahead, and he might have gotten the first down.
Boy, that's long yardage for a quarterback sneak.
Isn't it?
Usually 2 yards. You know, it's usually a half a yard. Maybe even a short 1 yard when you think of a quarterback sneak.
Ed Simmons gave a little measurement to Norv Turner. About a foot they need, looks like.
Norv will probably go for it again because with this team, I mean, to be honest with you, he doesn't have a lot of offensive weapons. And you get a team like Dallas, he's not going to be down in this area a lot today. So when you do get down there, you have to be very aggressive. I think he has to go for it on 4th down.
I'm sure he will.
He's going to whisper this one in there.
Put up the card.
Yep. Jim Hannafin, his offensive line coach, is showing him. What do you think, Jim, that one or the other one? Oh, he didn't even put the card up. He said, to heck with it. We'll just call this one.
Now he's got the card up.
Oh, he's calling the play now. He had a substitute first. That's what he was doing first. He better watch the time, though. There's 20 seconds.
Barry Switzer across the field.
4th down made Barry Switzer take a knee.
Yep. 3 tight ends set up. Got to sneak it again, don't you?
I would think so.
They give to Terry Allen. He got the 1st down. Almost broke for the touchdown. Inside the 5. Darren Smith.
That was a pretty good mix-up. Quarterback sneak on 3rd down and hand it to Terry Allen on 4th down. He picked a pretty good one off that card. He had a little help from Jim Hannafin. I think Hannafin helped him pick the formation.
Well, Hannafin's been picking for a long time.
Pretty good, too.
Yeah. 7-0. Dallas leading, but Washington close.
See, the Redskins go 3 tight ends, and because they do that, there's no wide receivers, and that gets Deion Sanders in force, and that's where they're going to run the ball. See, Logan is going to come up and kick out Deion Sanders right there. Ray Brown comes around and makes the block, and that's all Terry Allen needs to get about 5 yards. Now, the coach isn't paranoid, but this is what happens to you sometimes when you get 4th down.
If you make it, you grow.
No, that's a little, a thing. I mean, it took you something to call it, and then when you make it, that thing kind of hits you. You don't know where it came from.
2 tight ends. Shooter gets to Logan. Logan down to about the 2.
Well, Norv Turner said that they, felt they really had to run the ball, and they could run the ball against the Cowboys. And on this drive, they've run 10 times and passed twice. And, of course, one of those passes, I think, was that shovel pass.
Yeah. 2nd and goal at the 2.
I think you look at that big right guard in there, Trey Johnson. He weighs 340 pounds. I think I'd get in there behind he and Ed Simmons on that right side.
Logan moves. Terry Allen. Touchdown standing. The Redskins have a chance to tie things up with under 2 minutes left in the 1st half.
Hey, they got fired up on this. This is where they're going to run. I said, the right guard, the right tackle, get in behind those guys. Double team, come up with a linebacker, get Ray Brown coming again on the lead. That was the same play that they ran on 4th down. And the Cowboys didn't stop it on 4th down. They didn't stop it for the touchdown.
A good block by Ray Brown both times, coming around the corner. Eddie Murray for the extra point with Gus Farrat holding to tie it up. Ex-Cowboy Eddie Murray ties it up at 7. So with 1 minute and 22 seconds left to play in the 1st half, it's 7-all. Washington and Dallas. Saturday, it's a Fox NFL special as the Arizona Cardinals battle the San Diego Chargers in a tough interconference battle. And Terry Bradshaw and Jimmy Johnson will be in the booth to announce the game, to bring you the exciting NFL action. Coverage begins at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific, with Terry and Jimmy in the booth. Wonder who's going to lead them up there.
Let's just watch that touchdown again, Pat. Now here again, here's Ray Brown, and on both of these, he came over. Now they don't have their force. Here's their force that should be up in the line of scrimmage. They don't have their force out there. You see, they're getting there late. Woodson is getting up there late. They got Godfrey Miles to the outside instead of Deion Sanders this time. Godfrey Miles still gets blocked. Again, a good block by Ray Brown.
And by Logan again.
But see, on the 4th down play, they had Deion Sanders playing in there on 4th. On the goal line, they put Godfrey Miles in there for Deion Sanders, and Godfrey Miles was really the corner, but he still got blocked by Logan.
Deion Sanders back deep on the kickoff return team. Kevin Williams in the middle. But it looks like it's going to be Deion. And doesn't quite make it back to the 20. Darrell Towns down to stop it. Along with Derek Brownlow, who got a little charge out of it.
Well, they get so happy with themselves when they make a tackle on special teams, especially when it's inside the 20-yard line. That's always a goal. And then especially when it's on Deion Sanders. See, that's the first thing you want to do is stop them inside the 20. That's the first goal of a kickoff coverage. They did. Then they get so proud of themselves. They hit each other. They hit themselves.
And when you're an ex-Cowboy, that makes it even nicer. Aikman throws it away. He's knocked down by Ken Harvey.
And if he hadn't have thrown it away, he would have been knocked down harder by Ken Harvey. I mean, Harvey's coming from right here. Harvey in the first game gave Mark Tuinei problems. And again, it's that speed and quickness in there. He even used a little strength. It looked like Tuinei never did get set. He didn't think Harvey was going to do anything to him because Harvey just gave him a little punch, boom, with that left hand and straightened up Tuinei.
He's very quick and deceptively strong.
Yeah, but he only weighs about 240 pounds, and Mark Tuinei is about 315.
Aikman has some time. Throws to Kevin Williams, complete down the middle. First down, Dallas. Clock running with a minute left now. Aikman calls timeout.
Yeah, the Cowboys had all 3 of their timeouts, and I think that Aikman was trying to get up there, and then he said, heck, we have all 3. Let's just take one now. Again, they're going to get Kevin Williams back into that middle where he caught that deep end before. Great pass protection. That let Aikman wait and wait and wait and let Williams come in on that second level. He had a shorter level than he was the second level of depth.
Don't forget to stay with us at the half for the Dockers halftime with Terry, JB, Howie, and Jimmy. Scores the highlights. And there were some outstanding highlights and surprising scores of the games that have been completed today.
Now we're, checking the sweat. Derek Kennard is winning the contest in this first half. And Troy Aikman, that bothers Troy Aikman because he doesn't like to have a wet football. And he worries about his hands getting wet.
Derek Kennard is turning it into no contest. Aikman from behind hit. Pass almost picked off. Ken Harvey applied the pressure.
And Keith Taylor, after this thing comes down, here's Harvey again. As you say, he's going to put the pressure on. He gave Mark Tuinei trouble in that first game, and he's giving him trouble here now. He makes Aikman step up, and he hits Troy Aikman's arm just as he throws the ball. I'll tell you, Keith Taylor was down there and almost picked that thing off. That's the second time on this drive that Ken Harvey's gotten to Troy Aikman.
Went right by Tuinei. This time he tried to go inside and got hung up. Aikman threw up the middle to Kevin Williams, and he made the reception on the rebound.
We saw pictures earlier where Michael Irvin was talking to Kevin Williams, and then we saw Troy Aikman come over and calm him down, and we can see why.
Aikman a throw. Irvin breaks away from one man. Gets out of bounds at the Redskins 36-yard line. Stanley Richard.
And he made that move on Darrell Green that time. Here you're going to see Darrell Green go for that spin move. Remember earlier when Michael Irvin tried to do this, he tried to make a move before he caught the ball, and he dropped the ball. That time he caught it and made that spin and that move to the outside and pick up another 5 or 6 yards.
Almost 3 distinct moves he had to make.
And it was on Darrell Green, who has seen that thing for 13 years and expected it, and he still went for the bait.
3 wide receivers for the Cowboys. Cowboys. First down. Aikman gives to Emmett Smith. Back to the line of scrimmage. Tim Johnson stopped him. 21 seconds left, and it's a Cowboy timeout.
Emmett Smith wondered where that came from. He ran into his own guy, Eric Williams. Eric Williams must have been blocking down because the first guy that hit him. Now watch, here's Eric Williams, and Emmett Smith is going to come into this area, and he runs right into that thing. See him come down there, get knocked back, boom. Emmett's saying, what the heck? It was just half of Eric Williams, just the backside of Eric Williams that hit him, but that's a pretty big load.
Yeah.
Eric Williams, an amazing story, coming back from that automobile accident. That knee surgery, there was, thought that maybe he wouldn't get back until about this time. He's played all year.
Or not even play at all.
Some that he may not even play, and he's still not back to what he was. There was a time a year ago when Eric Williams was the best offensive lineman, period, in pro football.
He was a dominating lineman, like Larry Allen, who plays next to him, is now.
Yeah, and he really still, that bad knee, that foot on that bad knee, he still can't plant that hard.
But even with those things in mind, he's still about as good as there is. Aikman. Pass caught by Corey Fleming at about the 22. Clock running. They hustle up to the line of scrimmage with 12 seconds left. One timeout left.
He better just throw this ball down. What's he doing? He was waiting. He still could have stopped the clock, though, and gotten one play, I think. He knew he had one timeout left, so he was just waiting for it to get down there to kick the field goal.
Right.
He probably didn't want to rush it. I mean, once he got to the 20, he knew he had the field goal, because what he could have done is just thrown the ball down, because it was a first down, then taking a shot into the end zone. I think he would have had time for that, and then kick a field goal.
Chris Boniol, who's been outstanding, has made 15 straight field goals, the longest active streak of anybody. Sort of gone unnoticed, but he's been terrific. Novacek will hold. Dale Hellestree is the snapper. They need somebody else in the game.
Yeah, they only got 10 guys out there. I think they only have 9 guys out there.
Well, Joe Abzano's out there.
Now, here comes 2. Yeah, they didn't up. There goes one off.
There comes Kendall Watkins.
Oh, this is embarrassing.
Bonio will try from 37 yards out. 38, perhaps. And his kick is good. The Cowboys lead 10-7 as the teams head for the locker room. Good first half, particularly on the Redskins side, as they trail by 3 to Dallas. Halftime score 10-7 Cowboys.
Dockers Halftime is brought to you by Dockers Khakis, proud makers of nice pants.
And welcome to the Dockers Halftime, along with Jimmy Johnson, Howie Long, and Terry Bradshaw. I'm James Brown. The game you're watching at the half, Dallas leading by 3. Emmett Smith going after John Riggins' single-season TD record of 24.
Well, he'll have to wait a minute, because at the bottom of your screen, Darryl Green, the right corner of the Redskins, 28. He's called for interfering with Michael Irvin, but on the replay, it just looks like he cut off his path. A bad call by the field judge. That set up this Emmett Smith touchdown run as the Cowboys go up 7-0. But then back come the Redskins under Heath Schuler, 70 yards, 12-play drive. Terry Allen with a 5-yard, his 15th DD run of the year. Holy cow. Cowboys, though, Bonio with a 37-yard field goal. They lead 10-7.
You want to say that again?
No.
All right, then there's Dennis Harrison. Hey, his squad is looking pretty good in the first half.
Well, hey, who cares? Chris Warren off left tackle, cuts back inside, 5-yard score. Seahawks up by 7. When in doubt, give it to the power guy. Rick Meyer, fake draw, sets it up. Linebackers deep, guards block him. Break a tackle, 14-0. Ricky Waters, 1-yard TD run. Then Peterson with a field goal. Seahawks 17-7 over the Eagles.
You mean who cares? Dennis Erickson cares. His team is leading by 10. The Chiefs leading the Raiders by 2. That one late in the second quarter. San Diego on top of Cleveland by 14. That at the half. Denver beating Jackson. Oh, look at my goodness. Into Central. What is that?
Doctorate from Villanova. Moon back, fakes the reverse. Right, left corner. Caught man for man on Chris Carter. Go get him, big, and down the field he goes 60 yards. Jimmy Johnson said Moon would light it up. He does. 31-17, Vikes over the Bucks.
And as we move along, we take a look at what's coming up next.
Lambeau Field, big guy. Brett Favre up for MVP out of the backfield. Edgar Bennett screen, breaks a tackle, dives for the end zone as the Pack takes it to 9-4 today, 24-10 over the Bengals. Go JB.
Do you like Brett Favre?
Love him, big guy.
There's no question about that one. All right. And Jacksonville is trailing Denver by 11, that at the half. And as we talk about the Cowboys in Washington, Jimmy's looking like, what are Terry and I doing? I have no idea what he does.
And they say we screwed up the highlights.
I tell you, he also loves to say Lambeau Field.
Oh, I do. Talk about Dallas and Washington.
Hey, the Cowboys look uninspired in this ball game. They'll probably go on to win the game, but, you know, Emmett doesn't look 100%. And what's keeping the Redskins in the game is the rushing of Terry Allen. Terry Allen's running the football, and the Cowboys were concerned about their run defense going into the game. They have to still be concerned.
Yeah, one of the things we talked about was them rolling Washington up, Darren Woodson rather up in the safety for the 8th man in the front. They're rolling him too far up into the line. He's cutting back, getting away from Woodson. Negates the 8th defender.
A good word. Viking guy there.
Yeah.
Terry got him a pass. Yeah, cousin got him a sideline pass. All right, folks. Atlanta, Miami highlights you won't want to miss coming up next.
Truby with the Villanova.
All right, and welcome back to Hollywood for the Doctor's Halftime. Along with Terry Bradshaw, I'm James Brown. It was a tight one in Miami today.
Tight one indeed. Eric Metcalf gets it off going for the Falcons from the wing back, goes back to the outside. Blitzed by the Dolphins, doesn't stop him. Atlanta up 14-3. Marino back, Gary Clark back in the end zone. Dan fires 14-9 as Marino and the Dolphins go for 2, do not make it. Now with 11 seconds left, Marino looking, they're trailing. He finds Irving Fryer. This is his 34th fourth quarter comeback as the Dolphins take care of the Falcons 21-20.
Dolphins break a 3-game skid with that victory. Chris Miller had a rough outing today.
Had to lead this game after this hit by Marvin Washington. Lunges, hits Miller in the head. Miller with a slight concussion, has to leave. Washington was ejected from the game. In comes Mark Rippon. He will lob it to the left corner as Isaac Bruce will make the catch, touchdown. Rams go on, take care of the Jets, 23-20.
Rams break a 5-game losing skid on the road, had 6 sacks today. Saints have looked impressive.
Yes, indeed they have, as they now go to 6th in record is their record. Mario Bates on this 66-yard touchdown run as New Orleans goes up to New England, takes care of the Patriots, 31-17.
Saints have won 5 of 6, and Bradshaw is on the bandwagon. Look at the sprained knee of Jim Harbaugh.
Very good observation, James Brown, but John Casey has to come in. He nails a 20-yarder. Indianapolis 10, Carolina 13. Carolina, the expansion team, now 6-7 on the year.
You say I see the field well. Congratulations to Bill Cowell.
Let me do it, JB. Bam Morris, get on up in the middle. Run, duck, buck, hop. 30 yards, take it all the way. Pittsburgh in a tough game. Take care of the Oilers, clinch the AFC Central, something that I'm familiar with when I used to play way back when, 21-7.
Bradshaw says, let me do it, JB. Well, let me take it to the commercial break, Terry. More halftime.
I know I can't.
After this.
You're watching the NFL on Fox.
Washington trailing Dallas 10-7 as both teams return from the locker rooms after their halftime visits with various coaches. 10-7 Dallas. The Cowboys got a field goal just before halftime. This afternoon it was announced that an NFL Charities grant of $25,000 was made to Boys Hope to support its youth programs. Overall, the NFL has contributed more than $300,000 to the efforts of Boys Hope. NFL Charities was formed so that the NFL clubs could collectively make grants to worthy national causes. It has made grant commitments of more than $17 million since its inception.
Well, the Redskins are getting the kickoff. Now, this is a different formation, Pat. They must be going to break from this. There they go. Look at that. That's running all over the place.
What does that get done, I wonder?
Well, you don't know your assignment until they break.
Kevin Williams will return the kick. He gets out to about the 28 before he's knocked down by good coverage. Derek Brownlow again. He made 2 tackles. The game summary. Total drives, 12. Total punts, 9. That's by both teams. Emmitt Smith, 10 carries, 38 yards, and that 22nd touchdown of this year. 23rd rushing touchdown this season. Allen has 11 carries to lead the Redskins. 1st and 10 at their own 28 for Dallas.
I think another big thing is no turnovers.
Aikman gives to Emmitt Smith. Emmitt lost the ball. Larry Allen got it back. He's on the bottom of that pile, and he was the first.
Emmitt Smith, the ball carrier.
Look at that official trying to get down in there. Look at this guy right here. He's fighting down there. You got to get that head in there.
He's going to dig a hole in the carpet.
Well, you have to. You have to get your head down in the carpet to see where the ball is. They knocked his hat off.
Yeah.
His head wasn't in it, but he's still got his glasses on.
Yeah, that's a break.
He can fight down there with the best of them. The last time I saw the ball, I thought Larry Allen had it.
I think he got there first.
Then how could Darrell Green end up taking it away from Larry Allen?
No, a lot of things go on in those piles like that.
Yeah.
Conversation that you wouldn't repeat.
It's a Cowboys ball anyway, because it really was Larry Allen that had that thing under there. Had that pigskin.
2nd and 1. Just gotten word that Charles Haley has lower back spasms, and his return is questionable as Aikman gives to Darrell Johnston, and the Moose cries go up as he gets the Cowboy first down.
Well, Moose has 2 plays, and they call him about twice a game, and this is the guy that does all the running, of course, is Emmitt Smith. If you look, he made 5 yards to the left, 32 yards up the middle, and none to the right. And of course, his touchdown was also up the middle. And you know, when you have big Derek Kennard in there at center, you got Larry Allen at one guard, you got Nate Newton the other guard. The middle isn't a bad place to run.
Nate Newton in front, along with Larry Allen, and this is Emmitt Smith. Both guards out. You don't see the Cowboys do that very often.
No, but they can do that well. You know, you always think of Nate Newton, you think that he's just a big guy that can't move, but Nate Newton can move. As Nate will tell you, he can dance. And this is the thing. Here's the sweep, is you get both guards pulling this way, and then you get Emmitt Smith kind of getting in behind those guards. The first one kicks out, and then the second one tries to lead up through. But look at that big beef move. They didn't even, I think the guy that Nate was going to block, I think that was Darrell Green, he just sold out. He saw big old Nate coming, he said, I'll just go down. You don't even have to block me.
2nd and 5, Aikman Irvin. The pass is very nearly picked off by the Redskins as Darrell Green jumped it.
He will jump a slant on you, and you know, again, that's that 13-year veteran. You keep running that slant, you keep running that thing, and he's going to jump it. And here you see, you know, he's had enough. He's been waiting enough on that thing, and he just waited inside on that, and that should have been an interception.
3rd and 5. 3 wide receivers for the Cowboys. Corey Fleming, wide left. This is Kevin Williams in motion. Aikman looking right, gets Novacek. And Novacek gets a Cowboy first down, brought down by Taylor.
The one thing that Troy Aikman always tries to do is get everyone in the game. In the first half, it was kind of Michael Irvin, Kevin Williams, and Emmitt Smith running. So now he comes back and he hands the ball to Moose Johnston, and then he gets a pass to Jay Novacek. You know, get everyone involved in the game. Because that was Novacek's first catch, and he usually gets him involved much earlier than the 3rd quarter.
Novacek got the first down. Aikman gets to Smith. Emmitt Smith gets inside the Redskin 40, another Cowboy first down. Stanley Richards made the stop.
And that's what we were talking about earlier, that usually the guys that tackle Emmitt Smith are the safeties or the corners, the defensive backs, because that line does such a good job of blocking right there that the linemen don't get to him. And they block the linebackers don't get to him, and then the first guy that hits him is the free safety, Stanley Richard, in that case.
And usually it's Smith delivering the blow instead of the tackler making the blow. That time,
Stanley Richard.
Richard.
He came flying up there. Did you see that?
Yeah.
He was saying, I tackled him the time before. He tackled him downfield. This time he said he was going to come up and get him. You can see how they tackle him. 5 by the defensive line, 2 by the linebackers, and then the rest there by the secondary. But Stanley Richard that time wasn't going to wait for him. He came flying up there. Let's just watch it. Here he is here. Now he's reading that run. He sees it right now, and he doesn't wait. He takes that backside gap, and he goes right for Emmitt Smith's head. He wasn't going to wait until he got down there about 5 or 10 yards. He took that backside gap himself.
Larry Allen got up slowly after the last play, and he heads for the sideline.
And, of course, they already lost their center, Ray Donaldson, last week that, had been playing such great football for this team.
Ron Stone in his place. In Allen's place, Novacek in motion, 2nd and 7. Aikman will throw it. Tried to wheel it outside to Emmitt Smith.
Yeah, Tim Johnson was right there, and that's why he had to wheel it out. You see, Tim Johnson is right here, and he's going to get a push up the middle. Now, if Aikman could throw the ball when he wanted to, it would have been okay. When he goes 5-step, boom, but he went the pump. And after he went the pump, when he brought the ball back down from the pump, there was Tim Johnson.
Penalty against the Cowboys. They've marked it off. Not quite sure what it is. Michael Irvin, Darrell Green.
Yeah, Michael Irvin, that time, Michael Irvin just grabbed him by the face mask on that. What they ruled was a backward pass.
Aikman under pressure again. Incomplete. Fleming in the area, but it didn't get there. Redskins have done a pretty good job putting some pressure on Aikman.
I think they've done a great job. I think they've done a great job of putting pressure, and I think they've done a great job here of coverage. And you talk about Darrell Green and jumping something. You see, he guesses. If they were going to run the inside, he takes away the inside. Instead of just covering, letting him catch the ball, what they're starting to do is jump or run underneath these Cowboys patterns and getting in interception angles instead of knockdown angles.
John Jett will punt to Brian Mitchell. He signals fair catch at the 17, and that's where the Redskins will start with 10:50 left to play in the third quarter. 10-7 Dallas leads.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by the new Dodge. We're thinking ahead. By Radio Shack, you've got questions, we've got answers. By MasterCard, it's more than a credit card, it's smart money. And by Tylenol, the pain reliever hospitals use most.
That's not Troy Aikman's house.
Hey, you noticed Pat Troy Aikman's trying to grow a beard, and he just can't do it. I mean, the blonde-haired guys, a lot of them have trouble, but I can't even. I'm looking as close as I can, and I can't see any beard. But that's a 4-day beard, isn't it?
It's a passive attempt.
No, it's very, very passive.
Here's Terry Allen. Out to about the 20. There it is.
Now here it is, but see, I mean, he got a little in here and a little up there here, but he doesn't have anything here at all. Watch, when you take it off, he doesn't have anything going up in there.
Well, you got to give him time. He just had his 29th birthday.
I know, but I don't think he's doing a very good. I'd quit. I mean, like if you've been working out for like 4 days and that's all you get, and the going gets tough. If it's that tough, just quit.
Well, you can't just quit.
Yes, you can. Well, that's what the old saying. When the going gets tough, quit. Never lose.
That's a coach is saying that I ever heard. Incomplete. From Schuler to Allen. Maryland put the rush on.
Here's Russell Maryland right here. Now, Leon Ladd, of course, is the other tackle. And one thing they do is they both get a push up the middle. That time they're trying to get a screen pass, and what you do is you block that tackle and you let them go. But then you hope that your screen is open. When you block the tackle, let them go, and your screen isn't open, then that guy gets a pass rush.
Third down. Schuler, good time this time. Henry Ellard, beg your pardon, Leslie Shepard made the reception and got the first down.
And he made a good move at the end on Scott Case, because Scott Case was in a position to tackle him before he got the first down. Watch Shepard. He's going to get the ball here. He doesn't have the first down yet. You see the move on Scott Case right there? There's a lot of good moves there. I mean, there's hopping and jumping and everything.
See a lot of white jerseys flashing across the picture.
Yeah, with just a hand out stretch.
And he's still upright. First and 10, Washington at their own 32. Schuler back to throw. Pass complete to Jamie Asher. And Asher crosses the 15, goes out of bounds at the Dallas 47.
You're talking about young players. This Jamie Asher, the tight end, is one of the guys that Norv Turner really likes. And he thinks that, that he is going to be one of those guys that's going to be a real tight end that you can block and you can throw the ball to, and he can run with it.
That's the pass distribution by the Redskins. That was the first to a tight end.
Yeah, and you see for 21 yards, because the type of tight ends they have, Scott Galbraith and James Jenkins, that have been playing, are more like blocking tight ends and pass receiving tight ends.
Terry Allen gets around the corner into the Dallas 40. Darren Smith made the stop.
In fact, James Jenkins on that play was the blocker that really made the play go. He's like an H-back, the second tight end, and he comes across, and you're going to see him right here. He'll kind of sneak across. He's trying to hide from these guys behind him, and then boom, he makes a block over here, and then that's where Terry Allen's going to take the ball. We see him kind of sneak, and then boom, make that block right there, and that's the block that sprung Terry Allen.
Here's Allen again, trying to get to the outside. Gets only a couple of yards shy of the first down. It'll be third and about a yard. Darren Woodson to make the stop.
Well, Terry Allen on these last couple of plays have been trying to get to the outside, but if you see in the first half, for most of his runs, 10 yards to the left, 55 yards up the middle, and nothing to the right. In fact, that last run right there was his first run to the right, but they, like the Cowboys, have had success running up the middle. Really, they use both of them use the same offense.
When he gets 100 yards, like Emmitt Smith with the Cowboys, they usually win. This is Terry Allen. He gets the first down. Just tripped up before he broke it. Robert Jones tripped him up.
Yeah, they like to run to that right side behind Trey Johnson and Ed Simmons. But the other thing they do is pull that off guard. Watch number 67, Ray Brown, coming here. He leads a lot of these plays. They run a lot to the right and inside behind Trey Johnson and Ed Simmons, with Ray Brown pulling and leading from the offside.
That's the same play they scored the touchdown with.
They found something over there on that side that's pretty good.
Terry Allen into the secondary, runs over Brock Marion, stopped by Woodson.
Holy moly, did he deliver a blow?
He is a tough guy.
Yeah, that's the type of thing that you say when you say finish off or run. This is what you mean when you say finish off or run. Get down there, get behind those shoulders, and boom, watch him here. Just take off. That right leg is extended. That right shoulder comes underneath, and he just knocks Brock Marion right on his back.
Brock Marion's playing with a broken hand. He can't really wrap up and make a tackle, but that's a tough blow he absorbed then. Schuler in the corner deep, touchdown. No, he was juggling and out of the end zone. Orlando Truitt. He finally got it, finally got the handle, but he was juggling when he went out.
Hey, one thing, this Redskin offensive line is giving Heath Schuler time now, and they're starting to get some guys open. You watch Truitt here. You see, that's when when Deion Sanders plays man-to-man, you can take him out of an area and then run in behind him. That's exactly what they did. Orlando Truitt just didn't have possession of it. That's not bad, though.
He's still juggling.
I don't know. That's awfully close.
In their opinion, here's Schuler. And this is Brian Mitchell. Mitchell inside the 15 down to about the 13. Stopped by Leon Lett.
And you see who was leading that play again? Big Ray Brown. Watch him, the left guard. He'll come running right at you, number 67. This is what it looks like if you're a defensive back. Here comes Brown. He weighs 315 pounds. The thing that he shouldn't do, he let his running back outrun him because he looked back. If you're a pulling guard, just go. Don't look back. Just find someone in a white jersey and knock him down.
Sometimes that's so easy to say, but hard to teach and hard to do. Terry Allen down to the 10.
Well, you know, a new way that they do it now is as they're running, they'll look up at the big screen in some of these stadiums, and they use the big screen as a rear view mirror, especially wide receivers. That's how they decide when they have to block. They look at the big screen to see what's happening behind them. That's football in the 90s, Pat. That thing up there, see that?
Yeah, that's beyond me.
Yeah, well, I know. Look at the big, using the big screen as a rear view mirror. That'll work.
12th play of this drive coming up. Allen is the deep back and Schuler back to throw. Has a man wide open. It's Henry Ellard, touchdown. Ellard from Schuler. And the Redskins have the lead.
That's the way to get to the Cowboys. That's the way the 49ers did it. That crossing pattern. Remember Jerry Rice? Norv Turner was saying, I don't know if anyone watched that 49er film, but that was the thing that they were going to go to. They were going to do to a lot of the things that the 49ers did. Watch Henry Ellard here. When you come across the field, you're going to be in a position that a linebacker has to cover you. And that's how you get Henry Ellard, in that case, on Robert Jones, and he goes right by him.
In that drive, Terry Allen went over 1,000 yards for the season. His third career 1,000-yard season. He's 1,005 now. Eddie Murray for the extra point. Henry Ellard the touchdown. And the Redskins are going to take the lead. Have the lead. They're going to stretch it a little bit. 14-10 Washington. Well, he has done. Norv Turner has just about what he said he hoped to do.
See, here's what they're starting to do to the Cowboys. They put Deion Sanders here. He's on Truitt. They run him out of there. Then they're going to come across in an area that Deion left. You see, because they know that he's going to lock on. Now, once he locks on and goes, just run him right out of that area. Now, if you stop it there, you see that the only guy that can cover Ellard coming across is the middle linebacker, Robert Jones. Now, you'll see in the cross because Deion went the other way. Now they get in this bind, and the only guy right there was number 55, the middle linebacker.
5 minutes left to play in the third quarter. Washington leading 14-10. Kevin Williams to about the 27. At Texas Stadium, the Redskins lead the Cowboys 14-10. During that timeout, Nate Newton gathered the offensive line on the sideline and gave them a pep talk.
We got to come off and be under control. Rest dominate on 1, 2, 3. Dominate.
Dominate is what they need to do because right now they're being dominated.
Yeah, and then, you know, if they're going to dominate, and I'm sure what Nate means is let Emmitt Smith have the ball and let us take off and block and do it that way.
Aikman back to throw it. To Emmitt Smith. Smith outside the 35, stopped by James Washington.
You know, the one thing that I know Norv Turner was saying that, you know, after the 49ers beat the Cowboys, he was surprised that the Raiders or the Kansas City Chiefs didn't use some of the same kinds of things to beat them that the 49ers did. So that, like, no one looked at that film. No one did that. and he wanted to take some of those ideas and use those ideas against the Cowboys today.
82 yards. Emmitt Smith got that and more. Emmitt outside the 40 to the 44. They moved the sticks. James Washington again made the tackle.
And this is what Nate's talking about. He's talking about, you know, let's just go here, just give the ball to Emmitt, just drive up here. This is how you can dominate. You can dominate when you run the ball. You can dominate when you have a fullback like Moose Johnston. You can dominate when you have a runner like Emmitt Smith going,
even if he's not 100%.
And I think that's what that's what they want to do, is take over this game, and the way to take it over is with a running game.
1st and 10. Aikman, screen pass to Darrell Johnston, nothing there. Redskins played it well. Right now, for McDonald's game break, let's return you to James Brown in Hollywood.
Had a surprise score there with you. Surprise here. Take a look. Dan Marino closing seconds. 31st time of his career in the 4th quarter. He comes back to engineer a victory. Miami wins it by 1 over Atlanta. Let's take it back to Pat and John.
At Texas Stadium, the Redskins lead 14-10. 3rd quarter, 3:05 left to play.
And you watch Troy Aikman move here, Pat, and his knee and both of his calves are bothering him. He's not moving like Troy Aikman usually moves.
Steps up in the pocket, gets down in a hurry. Wisely so. As you say, he's not moving.
He has a brace on one knee, and if you look at the brace on the right, then if you look at the other thing, he has a sleeve on his left knee and calf. Actually said he didn't even know that he injured that left leg until after Thanksgiving. He woke up Friday and couldn't move his leg at all. So he's not on one leg. I mean, he's on neither leg. So his right one, it's a knee and the calf, and the left one, it's a calf.
The left one, of course, he got hurt against the 49ers. 3rd and 9. Aikman back to throw. Wheels it outside. Kevin Smith. Kevin Williams. Flag on the play, and Kevin Williams does not get a first down, but close to it.
This is going to be an interesting decision for Barry Switzer. You know, if it's not a first down here, that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Offensive pass interference, number 88. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
Yeah, they've probably been arguing about that one. Remember the one they called on Darrell Green against Michael Irvin? They've probably been arguing that one, and now they got one against Michael Irvin. Here's Michael Irvin right down here, and you're going to see as he comes off the ball, he does use his hand. You see, and he's pushing, and he just keeps him up there too long.
There's Darrell Green covering him again.
He's just trying to run over Darrell Green. I think he can probably do that. See that left hand? That left hand pulling the jersey is the thing the officials saw. You can hide that right arm, you can hide that head, but you can't hide the hand that's pulling the jersey.
And now Nate Newton, who delivered that pep talk a moment ago, is out of the game. Ron Stone has taken his place. Nate's right elbow being bandaged.
And look at Ron Stone's right elbow that he's playing with.
3rd and 19. Aikman to throw it. Deep, incomplete. Kevin Williams in the air. Maybe touched it.
I'll tell you, James Washington was waiting for him in there.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't see Troy Aikman do that very often, lead into a safety. You see Kevin Williams is coming up here, and he's going to go in the middle. He's gaining a little ground. Now look at James Washington, number 37. He was just sitting there waiting for that. Kevin Williams is saying you didn't have to do that, but James, you did have to do that. I mean, that's what James Washington gets paid for.
And that's what he does. And you know that's what he does. Jet back to punt it. Redskins lead. Brian Mitchell. He gets out to about the 26. Eric Bjornsson down to stop him. (14-10). The Redskins over the Cowboys in the 3rd quarter. Well, John, we talked about the Cowboys controlling their own destiny. You can't worry about those things. You've got to control today's destiny.
And then if they win today, then they would clinch a spot in the playoffs. So that's what they're fighting for.
Terry Allen Hit down by Hervin McCormick right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe he lost a yard.
Yeah, McCormick is in there for Charles Haley, who has back spasms. I don't think he came out, Charles Haley, for the second half.
I don't think he did.
When Charles Haley isn't in there, you can just see that that affects that whole front line. With Charles Haley in there, he is a great pass rusher, and he helps the other guys become pass rushers. Without Charles Haley in there, this is not a pass rush defensive line.
They give to Logan. Logan is hit by Darren Smith. He's been wounded in battle. His platoon has been massacred. Now one soldier has to fight for survival on the most hostile planet in the universe. Don't miss a brand new episode of Space, Above and Beyond. Tonight at 7, 6 Central on Fox. 3rd and 10. Washington, clock running with 30 seconds left to play in the third quarter. 3 wide receivers for the Redskins. Brian Mitchell deep now. They put the tight end on the right side, who stays in the block, and they swing it out to Brian Mitchell. Mitchell's cut down at the 30 by Deion Sanders.
That's a big play by Deion Sanders because they needed that tackle. That was a 3rd down. I always wonder about that. If you're going to throw on 3rd down, why you throw a 2-yard pass. But I guess with a young quarterback, you're going to do it. But sometimes you see old quarterbacks do that.
You'll take a completion, but not for 2 yards. 14-10 Washington. Said at the beginning of the day, beginning of our broadcast, that it was unusually warm. It's also unusually clear. You get a shot of the moon like that.
No, after this game, I'm going to be driving to New York, and that moon, we'll just stay underneath that. That'll give us light all night.
Erase the moon. Kevin Williams feels the kick. Darrell Pounds down to cut him down as soon as he made the catch.
That Darrell Pounds has been having a big day on special teams. He's been the first guy down there all day today.
14-10 as Aikman gets on the field. The Washington Redskins 14, Dallas 10. We're in the 4th quarter. 14:52 left to play. Aikman has Darrell Johnston and Emmett Smith behind him. Emmett. And again, let's send you to Hollywood for a McDonald's game break. Here's James Brown.
All right, Pat, another surprise is in Seattle. Although the Eagles trying to make it closer now. Ricky Waters with his 2nd touchdown run of the day, narrowing the gap 20-14. Seattle leads it. 13 minutes left in the 4th. Back to Pat and John.
That's Charles Haley back on the Cowboy bench. Needless to say, he won't be back in action today, suffering back spasms. And they'll miss him. 2nd and 3.
He's had a tough time all year with that back.
Yeah. Smith. Got a couple, didn't get enough for the first down.
See, the Redskins, this defense is really doing a good job. The Cowboys average 149 yards on the ground, and that's first in the NFL. And today, so far, it's 85 yards. So, and the Redskins have not been a good defense against the run.
But as Norv Turner said last night, they were getting better week by week.
Yeah, that's the thing, and it just takes time and it takes patience. And I think when you need time and patience, I think Norv Turner is a perfect guy.
Aikman gives to Emmett Smith. I don't know if he got the first down or not. It's going to be close. Darrell Green made the stop on Emmett.
Yeah, I think one thing the Cowboys really haven't established, you know, they always say you have to establish a run and you have to stop the run. The Redskins have stopped the run, and the Cowboys have yet to establish the run. And I think when Nate Newton gave that little speech, that's what he was talking about. We got to dominate. We got to get and establish and take over this game with the run.
First down, Dallas at their own 27. Aikman again to Emmett Smith. Emmett gets this outside the 30.
The gift to Emmett Smith.
Again, he ran into his own guy, big Eric Williams. They're having trouble with that, you know, where Eric Williams is trying to block down, and you see Eric Williams, he's coming down here, but instead of making a hole, he's causing a pileup in here. And that's the second time this game, and you just see him come down there. That's the second time this game that Emmett Smith has just run right into Eric Williams as he's coming down to block. See, and I think because he can't cut out one more hole.
2nd and 7. That's his 300th carry of this year. Aikman. And the pass is picked off by Stanley Richards. And the Redskins will take over inside the Dallas 30. They lead already 14-10.
This guy, Stanley Richards, is playing a heck of a game. I mean, he's from Texas, and this is kind of a homecoming for him, but he started out playing that run, and he really jumped on that thing, and then made a return out of it, too. Watch, Darrell Green is there. He's on the slot. Carter on the outside. Now watch as the ball's thrown inside. Stanley Richard was a free safety. He was just sitting back there in that post waiting for that thing. See, here's the pressure. You see Troy Aikman tried to throw to the outside, then step up to the middle, and then he couldn't step all the way forward. And that took a little off. It made it go a little high.
Schuler gives to Terry Allen, and Allen gets down to about the 22. Chad Hennings and Darren Smith.
You know, one thing you have to be impressed about this Redskin team is coming in here and being 3-9 and playing the Cowboys, one of the best teams, if not the best team in the NFL, that they were excited about it. You know, I mean, they didn't come in with their heads down. They didn't come in that they were going to lose. They came in a very confident team.
2nd and 4. Doesn't get back to the line of scrimmage. It's Leon Lett that trips him up.
That's the thing, you know, we talked about that where the first time the Cowboys didn't take care of those backside gaps, and Leon Lett was one of the guys that Barry Switzer was upset with. Leon Lett coming off a 4-game suspension for drug abuse, playing his first game here, did get penetration on that play.
Brian Mitchell is now the deep back. 3rd and 4. The crowd urging the defense to Stippen. Mitchell. Darren Smith again.
I think he got that first down. Look at the size of that number 77, though. And that's where, you know, if you just look at how big he is, that Trey Johnson, and you wonder, why not run in behind something like that? I mean, he got the sweat going. He has everything going. And every time they need something, they just kind of dart right into this area, right in here. And that's not a bad place to go because you know you're going to get some movement there. You see what he did?
Yeah.
To Chad Hennings is a strong guy. That Trey Johnson put Chad Hennings right on his back.
1st down, Redskins.
Let's look at that again. I mean, that's worth something right here. Watch what they do to Chad Hennings, and that's where they're going to run this ball. Watch them fire out. Boom, a little help. They get him going backwards and then down. Now, if you block like that, I'll guarantee you on short yardage you're going to get first down. Now you're playing. I mean, this is hitting weather.
You certainly will.
This looks like the old Hogs. Remember those guys? Russ Grimm, Jacoby?
Do I? Here's Schuler back to throw it. Lofting deep for the end zone for Ellard, covered by Larry Brown, incomplete.
No, I mean, the Redskins really only have one receiver, and that's Henry Ellard.
85.
And you wonder why Deion Sanders doesn't cover him. I mean, I don't know why Deion Sanders is covering Truitt on the other side, because if they had 2 or if they had 3, you can say, well, you can understand that. But I think if there's any guy you have to cover on the Redskins, it's Henry Ellard. And
Ellard comes left.
Well, Deion's on him this time.
Yeah. And here's Terry Allen inside the 15 to about the 13. And that'll bring up a 3rd down.
Yeah, there's one of the Hogs, Russ Grimm. We're talking about that. Remember, he used to be a big guy.
He still is a big guy.
Yeah, but not if you look at Trey Johnson.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at, Grimm, and you say big old Grimm was a big guy, great guard and a great center. But then you look down at number 77 and you say, that 77 would be like 2 Grimms.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to believe that he weighs 60, 70 pounds more than Russ Grimm.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you could put Grimm and a couple kids in that jersey.
Two tight ends set up as Schuler goes back to throw it. Gets the pass up to the middle to Jamie Asher, and Asher's at the 1.
Norv Turner said that last week he had Jamie Asher and he caught a ball and he just fell down with it. And he said, you're a rookie. He said, but if you were at Louisville a year ago, he said, what would you have done with that ball? He said, I would have scored a touchdown. He said, well, it's the same game.
Yeah.
He said, just take the ball, catch it, and turn and run a touchdown.
Field's the same size, same.
Yeah.
Ball looks just like the other ball.
And that's what Asher's doing in this game. That's the second time that he did it. That's coaching. Just tell the guy, hey, you did it in college, just do it like you did in college.
First and goal at the 1. Washington 14, Dallas 10, and Washington close again. That's Terry Allen. Touchdown. Touchdown, Redskins.
Terry Allen is a tough guy. Terry Allen never quit on this play because initially there wasn't anything there. Watch this again. He's getting in there behind Ray Brown. The ball didn't break the plane yet, and just as he comes down, you see his knee wasn't down because his knee was on the other guy. Then he just reached it over the plane. He is a competitor, though. This is an impressive running back.
As Norv Turner said yesterday, he's a joy to coach just to see a guy work that hard, a guy that tough, that good.
And you know, and he's had both knees completely reconstructed. But look at this. I mean, if you can't go down low, then get up high. And he went up high, and he was met. There was a lot of stuff down low, and there was some stuff Robert Jones up high. But watch him. He just keeps fighting. And as long as his knee's not down, the ball does break the plane.
There's a Cowboy player down in the end zone.
But you see what Terry Allen had going there, Pat, is that because that whole pile of bodies there, his knee never could go down to the ground.
That's Robert Jones.
Robert Jones is the guy that meets him head on. He's right there. Now remember when Terry Allen jumps, it's Robert Jones that jumps with him. See, right there. And he hit him right there with his helmet, right in the middle, right between the 2 and the 1.
Robert Jones had been bothered, in fact, against the Raiders. He got a groin pull. He'd been out with that. Then he had an inner ear problem.
And he had vertigo.
Let's have another look.
But they put something on his back. But watch him here, number 55. I mean, that's just helmet to helmet, paint to paint. That's a collision on the goal line. You know, again, you get all the guys in front to go down low. Then you get the jumpers. Robert Jones was a jumper. And when Terry Allen jumped, they both jumped at the same time, and they met helmet to helmet. And Troy Aikman's thinking that whole thing started with his interception to Stanley Richard.
Eddie Murray for the extra point is good, and the Redskins lead the Cowboys 21-10. With 8:45 left to play.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By Canon, so advanced it's simple. By the new Schick Tracer FX, designed for sensitive skin. And by Transamerica, the people in the pyramid are working for you.
8:45 left. Pat Summerall with John Madden. 8:45 left. And it's the Redskins 21, the Cowboys 10. Eddie Murray kicks off to Kevin Williams. They need something to happen, the Cowboys do. It won't be this time as the Redskins special teams do their job, and he's down at about the 26. 8:37 left now. Washington up by 11. Redskins 21, Dallas 10. Jerry Jones, the owner of the Cowboys, down on the sidelines now. Troy Aikman and his offensive unit need something to happen in a hurry. 1st and 10 at their own 27. They're down by 11. Aikman back to throw. Intended for Novacek, incomplete.
You didn't expect to see Jerry Jones there at the end of the game. In this game, having to, try and get the Cowboys going to get back and win. You thought that this would be one. I mean, there's no such thing as an easy game. Like there's no such thing as an easy kick or an easy putt. But if there were one, you would think that this would be one for the Cowboys. And they've been in a battle this whole game. I mean, this Redskin team is really playing well.
On 2nd down, Aikman back. Intended Emmett Smith. Emmett is hit. Derek Kennard comes out to help.
But what they do is this whole game, I mean, the Redskins haven't got in big pass rush, but they've had great coverage. I mean, there was a while where they were doing some things with Michael Irvin, but after that, there's not a lot of guys open. And if they don't get the ball to Michael Irvin, there's not been a lot there for the Cowboys today. And I think that's going to start worrying them because they go back to that 49er game, and this game, their offense against the Redskin defense reminds me a lot of the 49er game.
Irvin is split wide to the left. Aikman gets it up the middle to Novacek, and he does lunge for the 1st down. And Aikman says, hurry up.
Because he knows there's 8 minutes left in the 4th quarter, but he also knows that the Cowboys need 2 scores. In fact, if they score a touchdown, they have to go for 2 points because they're 11 points down.
First down, Cowboys. Aikman had them hurried up. Timeout. Washington. So that means they have 2 left, but they lead by 11. Norv Turner, Redskins coach. The last time the Redskins swept the Cowboys in the same season, won both games, was back in 1987. It's 1st and 10 at their own 39 for the Cowboys with 8:02 left, and Aikman back to throw. Pass complete to Irvin.
You'd wonder when he was going to get back to Michael Irvin. That's the first pass that Michael Irvin has caught this half. They had that thing going in the first half, but they didn't come back to him this second half. And again, that Darrell Green could still cover, Kenny. Yep. I mean, he's right there.
That's just a perfect throw in the, perfect location.
Yep, this has been a great battle for years between Darrell Green and a lot of receivers, but twice a year, Darrell Green and Michael Irvin.
There was a time you just wouldn't throw at Darrell Green. Here's Aikman. Flag on the play. Back near where Aikman was. And there's a Cowboy down on the field. Aikman's okay. That's Nate Newton.
Yeah, Nate's having Nate Newton has a bad knee anyway, so it's always just trying to get through a game with that knee, and then today he injured the elbow.
79 offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat 1st down.
This is against Eric Williams.
Eric Williams, of course, the right tackle here. If they're in pass protection or it's a passing down, they don't even get into a stance. And you see, on the inside move, he just grabbed his guy, and that's the leg.
Yeah,
sure. What happens is when your feet don't go where you want them to, then your hands have to go where you don't want them to. And that happened to Eric Williams on that play.
That's the moral to that story.
If your feet won't do it, your hands have to do it, and your hands doing it are illegal.
Right. It's 1st and 20 now. And Aikman back again. To Corey Fleming. Makes the catch on the sideline, gets out of bounds. The clock stops with 7:29.
And watch Aikman. He's hit just as he throws that ball by Tim Johnson. Just as he throws it right there, he's hit and rolled to the back. When you say you want to be a quarterback and they make all that money and stuff, but I think that's one of the toughest acts in football, being in that pocket, not looking at the rush, and being able to step into it and throw.
You spend so much time unprotected. 15-yard gain, 2nd and 5. That's Novacek. He makes the catch inside the Redskins 25. And Jay Novacek is slow getting up.
Yeah, but he would have been slower had he not seen Stanley Richard coming. I think right at the end, he saw Stanley Richard coming to free safety, and he just ducked down. Watch it. He's going to catch that ball. Richard is coming from his right. And right here, I think you see there? He just got his head down underneath it, or he really would have taken a shot.
A 19-yard gain.
You know, those two safeties in there, James Washington and Stanley Richard, are just looking for big hits.
Novacek exits. Eric Bjornsson takes his place.
You see, now, you see how he got underneath there? Richard was going right for his head, and Jay Novacek went underneath it.
He got him with his knee. Throws outside for Fleming. Fleming hadn't made the break when Aikman let it go.
You know, the interesting thing about today's game is the Redskins are doing what the Cowboys usually do. You know, they're using that big offensive line to kind of wear them down, to kind of beat them up. They're using, you know, good coverage on defense. The Redskins are playing a Cowboy type of game.
Novacek is back. Fleming comes wide right. Irving's to the left this time. Aikman back. Gets it to Cole Fleming, who struggles down, and he might have picked up a first down with that last effort. They've been waiting for him to do something for a long, long time.
And that's why you have to tackle well. Tom Carter was there. He had the coverage, but he didn't make the tackle. Again, 6 minutes, 16 seconds. The Cowboys are thinking in terms of 2 scores. They score a touchdown here, I'm sure they'll go for 2. And a field goal would tie it, and a touchdown after that would win it.
6:13 left.
And if they don't make the 2, then they're going to need another score if they do score a touchdown.
Dallas has all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Fleming checks out, and Kevin Williams checks in. 2nd and 10.
You know, and the Redskins have been in a lot of games and had bad things happen to them at the end of the game. I know they're thinking about that in the sideline.
On the last play of the game, they've lost some games. A bunch of them. 6 of them, I believe. That's Novacek. And Novacek inside the 10. Heath Taylor made the stop. Clock still running. He didn't get out of bounds.
There's what you're talking about, Pat. 6 games have been decided on the last play.
That's hard to believe.
I know it. But, I mean, that means that they're not as bad as 3 and 9.
Aikman again, Novacek to the 5. And this time he does make it out of bounds to stop the clock.
Yeah, we said in the first half, remember, Jay Novacek didn't catch a pass. Michael Irvin caught the passes. In the second half, Jay Novacek is the guy catching the passes now. And in this whole half, Michael Irvin has only caught 1 pass. Although I would expect this is an area that Troy Aikman has always liked Michael Irvin on that slant.
The Cowboys have 2 tight ends. It's 4th and 1. 4th and 1.
He always liked Emmett Smith on that situation.
And the give is to Emmett Smith. And Emmett fumbles. And the ball goes out of bounds. And he's the last guy to have possession, I believe. Redskins are saying we got it.
Yep, it'll be a touchback. It'll be the Redskins' ball, first down on the 20-yard line. Had that ball gone out of bounds before it got to the end zone, it could have been the Cowboys' ball. But remember, it's 4th down.
And only Emmett can recover it.
Now watch,
now he drops it.
The ball is knocked out here, and then it's going to. It still doesn't have control. There's no control of it. Now it goes into and through and out the end zone. So by the time he recovered it, it was out of the end zone. You know, he came very close to getting this back and getting it back for a touchdown. See, the reason it's a touchback is because he wasn't inbound.
He almost recovered it himself for the touchdown. That was very close.
If he were inbounds, that would have been a touchdown.
He's the only one who could have scored.
And now if it's not a touchdown, it's a touchback, so it comes out to the 20.
The ball popped out. Schuler Gives to Terry Allen. He doesn't make it back to the line of scrimmage. Dixon Edwards made the stop. Look at that play again.
Well, again, here you see Emmitt Smith here. You know, the ball, does he have control of it when it went over the line? Again, if you look right here, it looks like he does. Let me see if I can stop it there.
It does look like he does, doesn't it?
I'm going to stop it right there when he gets right there. Right there, that's a touchdown, isn't it?
It sure looks like it.
Of course, the officials can't do that. I think the fans are seeing that too, and they're thinking it should have been a touchdown.
They just did. Here's Schuler, fakes, tosses, incomplete, intended for Henry Ellard. Smith had fumbled the ball already. Now here he comes again.
I don't know that he was out of bounds. I think, again, he has to have control when the ball breaks the plane and his foot isn't out of bounds.
Now he hits the pylon.
But the ball was inside the pylon.
Yeah.
On any touchdown, it's where the ball is.
The pylon's out of bounds.
Now the ball is inside the pylon.
Yep.
Now.
Third and 10.
Debated.
Third down, Washington. Schuler rolls right. Throws deep. Shepard got it. Covered by Larry Brown, but Schuler dropped it in over his head.
I'll tell you, he dropped it in a long way. I mean, Schuler really put the mustard on this thing. I mean, this is a 50-yard pass. Shepard is coming off a pulled hamstring.
They said he was only about 75%.
They didn't know how much he could play. Maybe on third down, and you don't expect him to catch a big one like this. You see, Schuler is going to roll right and throw back. That's rolling all the way to the far hash mark, throwing deep all the way across the field. That takes a strong arm to make that throw.
Now the Redskins go with two tight ends, and Terry Allen is hit behind the line. Darren Smith.
And I just want to say one thing about, whether Emmitt Smith was inbounds or out, a touchdown up. The Redskins today have played enough to beat the Dallas Cowboys.
They have beat
the Redskins today have whipped the Cowboys.
21-10, the Redskins lead.
Now you look at those Cowboys on the sidelines on the field, and they know that they were whipped too. They know that they were whipped the first time when the Redskins beat them. And I don't know that they've recovered from that 49er beating.
I don't think they have.
Because they look like
mentally.
No, they look like they're still walking on their heels from that one.
Schuler gives to Terry Allen, and Allen on a second down gets to about the 33, stopped by Brock Marion. Here's Jim Hannafin.
Well, and we talked about the job that his guys have done. John Giesick at the center, and that big Trey Johnson, how he's handled that right side with Ed Simmons, Ray Brown pulling over there. One thing about Jim Hannafin, he knows how to coach. He's been around, and he knows how to coach an offensive line. And those guys made him proud today.
Next Sunday, NFL on Fox kicks off with a battle between NFC Eastern Division rivals, the Cowboys and Philadelphia Eagles, plus other exciting regional action. It all begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Check the local listings for the game and time in your area. And a whole lot of things are changing complexion as a result of what's happened this Sunday.
Yeah, well, the good thing about it is you have to go out every Sunday and play, and it doesn't make any difference what someone else thinks or what someone else says or what someone else's record is or what you say. You have to go out and play the game on the field, and you have to be at your best every Sunday or you're going to get beat.
Well, all the talk was we got to run the table. Cowboy talk. The table is getting taller. The Redskins have done a heck of a job today. That's Brian Mitchell over the right side, stopped by Jim Swans. And it brings up a fourth down.
And the thing that it's done, I think it's really helped this guy, Schuler, today.
You could see him gaining confidence.
As the game went on. Yep. I mean, he just got more and more confident. Even the way he walks. You look at him, the way he walks and moves. in the fourth quarter compared to what he walked and moved in the first quarter, this guy looks like a different guy.
He really does. Today's game is being produced by Bob Stenner, directed by Sandy Grossman. Studio was produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. The executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. The Cowboys just used their last timeout.
And there's another guy that should be proud, Norv Turner. I think he's doing a heck of a job here. I mean, because it's a team that got old and then it got young. And whoever's going to deal with a team that's young, you have to have patience. They're playing a lot of guys who aren't ready to play yet, but he kept them together. And you could not be together and play a game like the Redskins are playing today.
Eddie Murray from 47 yards out. And Eddie Murray hits from there and puts the Redskins up 24-10 with 3.5 minutes left and no timeouts left. The Dallas task is monumental.
And Schuler feels real good about this, but I'm sure that he realizes that his offensive line had a lot to do with it. And boy, did Terry Allen play today.
And his defense had a lot to do with it also.
There's a guy, Ed Simmons, remember they ran in there behind him all day. Trey Johnson, who was next to him. Ray Brown pulling. Logan leading.
Giesick, the center.
Yep, those guys did the job today.
This game is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Dallas Cowboys and the National Football League is prohibited. Hats off to the Washington Redskins. As you pointed out, they have done, this group, one heck of a job.
Jim Hannafin, he's still in there coaching.
Yeah.
Never over till it's over. That's what old line coaches. I mean, old line coaches, they coach before the game, during the game, and they'll be in the locker room after the game still coaching. Got to stay low, keep those knees bent.
Eddie Murray bounces the kickoff. It's handled by Jim Swans, who gets it out to about the 39. They had Deion Sanders deep, but now they need more, the number 21.
Well, they weren't going to let Deion Sanders light up this place or get this place excited. They're going to have Dallas do it the hard way, and the problem Dallas has is they have to do it the hard way and the quick way.
First and 10 at their own 39.
Michael Irvin, again, has kind of been the forgotten guy this second half for the Cowboys.
Aikman back to throw it. And Irvin makes the catch. Welcome to Texas Stadium, and that is a correct score. Washington 24, Dallas 10, and we have less than 3 minutes to go as Aikman drops it off to Emmitt Smith, and Emmitt gets to the 31. Dallas at one time led 10-7, but since that lead, the Redskins have taken control, and they've done it on both sides of the ball. They lead 24-10. Aikman incomplete. Clock stops with 2:34 left.
Again, as you said, both sides of the ball, you kind of knew that offensively they could do something because they've done it before, the Redskins and Terry Allen and running and those kinds of things, but I didn't expect the defensive effort that this Redskin team has given today.
I don't think either of us believed when we were talking with the Redskins and Norv Turner last night that what he was saying to us, that his defensive unit was getting better and better each week, and that he liked his 7 guys behind the line of scrimmage, but they've all done well today. This is Emmitt Smith inside the 30. And that'll get the first down, but the clock is still moving.
And they've made good adjustments. You know, we talked about how in the first half it looked early, easy to go to Michael Irvin, and then the second half they took that away.
Aikman. Kevin Williams inside the 10 to the 8. Make it the 7. They hurry up. I don't think they'll get a play off before the 2-minute warning.
And they don't have any more timeouts, and they need 2 touchdowns, so they're going to have to get a score here, then an onside kick, then another score.
Following the football coverage, space above and beyond, except on the West Coast. Coming up, Aikman has thrown the ball 45 times. That ties a career high. Somehow, when you name the All-Madden team, I don't think those guys are going to be on it.
No, I don't like those colors. I don't know what color this is and that other one is. What color was that?
I don't know.
If it's what I think it was, it ain't going to make it.
Coming up, a reminder again, space above and beyond. Following our football coverage, the Eagles got beat by Seattle. Dallas is losing to Washington. Incomplete. Aikman fires in the end zone intended for Jay Novacek. Incomplete. They used 4 seconds. 2nd down. Career high for Troy. 46 attempts.
And that's because they really didn't establish Emmitt Smith. They didn't dominate. They didn't gain control, and they got behind. Because there's no way that Ernie Zampese, the offensive coordinator, or Troy Aikman wanted to throw a career-high passing today against the Redskins.
No way. 1:56 left, 2nd and goal. And Aikman drops the throw, throws outside. Michael Irvin is knocked out of bounds at about the 4.
I think they got to throw the ball in the end zone here. This isn't going to do them a lot of good because time is running out on them. I mean, they need 2 scores, and this quick out isn't the way to do it. Now, maybe they're just trying to set up the slant. Maybe they want to get them to think they're going to go out, get them to play outside, because the one that they like to throw down here is a slant to Michael Irvin.
A little late for setting up.
Well, they still need 2 scores. They got to do something. They got to get it in the end zone.
Aikman. Irvin, and there's your touchdown. Aikman to Irvin, the back of the end zone.
Now, maybe they were setting that up. They put him out, and then they just brought him in.
Maybe so.
Now, of course, they need a score here. Then they have to go and get the onside kick and get it back again. Here you see Michael Irvin right here. He's going to start fake to the out. Then he's going to come in. Then he's going to get on that back line and just start to run the back line. And that's just a heck of a throw by a quarterback throwing to a very physically strong receiver.
Chris Bonio's extra point makes it Washington 24, Dallas 17, 1:48 left. You expect an onside kick.
I think if they had all their timeouts left, they wouldn't have to kick an onside kick. The Dallas Cowboys have no timeouts left, so they have to kick an onside kick here.
Charles Haley on the right, who experienced back spasms and did not appear for a long time in the second half, and when he did, he was back in street clothes.
This is where the Redskins will put their hands team in there.
Yep.
I see Darrell Green is back there. He's going to be a deep guy. He and Mitchell. And all the other guys, you put receivers and backs and those kinds of guys that with the balls kicked to them, they can catch it. You see all the 80 numbers. Henry Ellard's in there. The 20 numbers.
7 out of 41 is the success rate, 17%, so they got a chance.
And this is how the Cowboys, see, they're all bunched up over there, so they're going to kick it to that side.
Bonio drops it. And the Redskins don't appear alarmed as William Bell comes up with the ball. Dallas has no timeouts.
Here it is. Remember the onside kick. It has to go 10 yards. And then the Redskins just catch it right there. That just took a Redskin bounce, and there was no chance. You'd like to get it up high where they had to jump and you could have a collision and the ball bounce around.
At least it come loose.
Now, yeah, that one was just a Redskin high hopper.
No timeouts remaining. The Redskins ball at the Dallas 44.
What a performance this Redskin team has put on today. And the Cowboys, you know, they have a lot of pride. The Cowboys don't want to lose to anyone. But if you have to lose to someone, I think probably to a man, these guys really love Norv Turner. When Norv was the coordinator here, all the Cowboys, the offensive players, the defensive players, they all love Norv Turner. And you don't want to get beat. You're not happy. I mean, you're sad, but a little of you says, "I'm glad it was Norv."
Schuler just kneels, and the clock continues to run, and they can just sit on it and run it out.
The only thing is, this is the second time. If anyone has their number, it's Norv Turner. Want to know how to beat the Cowboys? This is the second time that he's done it this year, and part of his idea was to follow a plan that the 49ers used against the Cowboys.
Very successful plan.
Yeah, and until the Cowboys can defeat that plan and that approach to them, they may not be the Super Bowl team this year.
The Eagles lost to the Seattle Seahawks, and Dallas is losing to Washington, so the NFC East race remains between Dallas and Philadelphia, but they move back closer to the pack.
But that's a good thing about it, that if you really knew who was going to win, and the experts could say, and the blue plate specials, and you pick this, and this is what's going to happen, then it happened. This would be a boring game. And this is what makes it a great game, is when you go out there and you kick it off, you have no idea what's going to happen because both sides have to go out and play the game. And today, the Redskins played better than the Cowboys.
Schuler can kneel again and then kneel again.
He probably won't have to kneel again.
No.
There's a scrappy little guy, isn't he, Darrell Green?
None of his competitiveness has been lost at all as Norv Turner comes out of Dallas victorious. Twice this year, his Redskins have beaten the Dallas Cowboys. A dejected Emmitt Smith.